And then, what's the perfect recipe for brownies? Our local chef, Stephen Johnson, joins us to tell us about a perfect holiday recipe for brownies.
The three people that are tuning in are like, what the fuck is going on?
Wait a minute.
So, all right.
That was my public radio voice.
That was good.
Yeah, that was fucking fantastic.
That was better than hello.
If this whole band thing doesn't work out,
Well,
NPR's a calling.
I would love to do voice acting in the future. That would
Sweet.
good retirement
that's
plan.
where the money's at.
Yeah, man.
So, episode 14 starts back in the basement with Langan and Parker.
Yes.
What's up?
Hey,
Hi, Sam.
what's going on? Joe
Hi,
Ciotto
Brian.
sitting in the back. And then today our guest is Dan Lomeli from Incendiary.
Hello.
What's
Welcome.
up, man?
Hanging out. How are you?
Yeah. Cool. All right, then.
All right.
Perfect. That's a great intro.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week.
All right. Big gulp. Great. So, anyway, just before we start, I want to say that we do have, because I never say it, we have a SoundCloud. So you could check us out on SoundCloud or iTunes, which, it's probably what, if you're listening, that's how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe, spread it and tell people, because I'm tired of getting texts from people that I know. I want a text from someone I don't know.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody to be like, yo, I asked your friend Bob, and he gave me your number because I just really needed to tell you how good this show was. You know what I'm saying? Like, every number that I have comes with a name, and it's like, that's enough already. You guys, we get it. You like
Spread
the show.
the love.
So you're coming off a tour?
We just did a weekend last weekend. Yeah, just 2 shows.
Okay, and like it seems like you guys just put out a record, and I feel like you're taking a lot of video footage.
Yeah. I've been the AV club for the band since like day one. Like I've recorded pretty much 85% of the shows that we've played.
And you're the guy to do it because you have the GoPro, right?
Yeah. At first I started with just a shitty DV camcorder. I started with that with like the little DV tapes, and then I got like a better camcorder with a tax return one year that used like the regular SD cards, and now I have 2 GoPros, and I also have a DSLR, but I don't usually bring that one out with me.
Well, whatever the videos are, they're fucking awesome.
Oh,
I enjoy it. I didn't really know too much of the band. I just saw the name. I'm pretty sure Joe behind you has praised you guys.
It's come to about 2 tree shows.
There you go. So, but then I listened to the last record, which is called
1,000 Mile Stare.
1,000 Mile Stare. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I
Killer.
love
Thank
it.
you.
Heavy
And-
as fuck, man.
Thank you.
Really good.
And what I'm going to say is this, because I was just going to be like, yeah, I don't really listen to much hardcore, but I really like this.
Right.
And my biggest pet peeve sometimes is like when somebody will be like, yeah, I don't really like hip hop, but I like Eminem. It's like, wait,
Okay.
but you fucking like hip hop then? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
So
talking about?
delve further.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need to quantify about what you don't like before saying what you do
Yeah.
like. Just say I like this.
Exactly. I'm the asshole. Like, I'm completely like, I don't really listen to much hardcore, but these Incendiary guys are fucking awesome. But it's just, they get you fucking amped up completely.
Yes.
Like, I could see,
That's the word.
I could see how these songs like will kill live. Like everyone, like just the perfect vocals and the unclenched fist and all that, like all those fucking lyrics, right? So then I went backwards. I listened to the other 2 records, and they're just as good.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
So I think what I'm trying to say now is that I think I'm a legit hardcore fan now.
Hey, well, welcome
Sam,
back.
Sam's
Finally.
come out.
See you in the pit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I stopped at Minor Threat. I
Right.
I can go back now. So. But so the record comes out, and you guys like charted on Billboard.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
Did
like,
not
you're-
expect that to happen.
Like, you're a legit celebrity sitting here, almost basically.
No, I work at a regular job, but
Oh.
this also happens, and it's really, really cool.
What label are you on?
Closed Casket from Troy, New York,
Okay.
the capital area.
Nice.
So basically, you chart on fucking Billboard. Like,
Yeah.
that's like.
Absolutely psychotic.
When I
Like-
was younger, like my aunt used to work, I think in some like building that had like BMG stuff. So she would always bring home like Billboard magazine, and I loved it. And she would bring home samplers of like whatever. It was like usually like 10 or 20, and like half of them sucked. But then there was like a handful of shit that was good, like some Brit pop and stuff like that, mixed in with like some Garth Brooks, which is why I know Garth Brooks songs, because I would listen to it and I'm like, 3:30 in the morning, there's a storm heading in. So I'm listening to these songs, right? So she comes over, and I was fascinated by Billboard magazine. I loved reading it. I loved everything to do about music, and I would keep close eye like on the charts, and like the charts were a big fucking deal when people sold records.
I felt the same way growing up, because I'd always check it, because like I've said before, my dad had the 7-Eleven, so Billboard was one of the magazines I got to browse through, just to be so excited if one of my bands made it into the pop.
If like Metal Church hit 199.
Yeah,
or like
they're hanging in there.
In the movies about a band, and like, they start doing well, and it's just like, and it scales down like the charts. It's like ding, and they're like 175.
That's a
like,
common scene
God!
in like a band biopic. They like they show it
Whoa,
rise,
and
then
they show it moving. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's always like the like all right, cool
like-
stuff's happening now, kind of
Right.
like indicator in like the band based movie, and like. It's just absolutely nuts. I think it shows like the scaling down that's happened in the music industry, because of like something like this could make it onto like the fucking charts. Like there's no band selling like Def Leppard anymore, where they're selling like 80 million copies. Like if a band sells like, a million, that's like a big, almost a big.
So it's
deal.
almost like leveled the playing field a little bit. Yeah.
Back like to go back to when you would hit number one, like it would be because you sold 1.5 million for that week.
Right.
Now, if you sell 50,000 copies the first week, you're more than likely number one.
Right.
So that's how different things are, because I don't really know how they weigh it anymore, as far as like, what Spotify counts, Apple Music and stuff like that. I don't know if it's like actual physical.
I think they changed like how they do evaluate that, but I couldn't begin to explain how that works.
There's probably algorithms at play that I don't even can begin to guess. But I think like, again, like this is like indicative in the industry, where it's just like the times have changed so rapidly and they're still trying to keep the same business model. It's just like, didn't you learn when Napster and LimeWire came out that like you got to change the fuck you're doing?
No, they're slow.
And they're just like, nope, we're still just going to keep doing this. And it's just like you're getting smashed out left and right because you can't think of something else better to do.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's because, back then, and I'm going to speak like I was sitting in the office, watching them. You guys better not do that, man. But no. So, I think for every CD that they would sell, like whatever it was, like Sam Goody, like $17.99. Like the artists were getting like $1.50 or something. Like
Metallica had the highest rate for that. I think it was like $1.75. Everyone else was like less than $1.
And
because there's all this bloat within the, in the industry itself. Like when I interned at Island Records for a while, and there was so much unnecessary staff there, and a guy in charge of this and that, and it's all going there.
Yeah.
To all these staff that's not even necessary.
It's like the Titanic, and they're like figuring out who to throw off. They're like, Janice from accounting? She doesn't give a fuck. Let's throw her off.
What does she know? What band she brought to the
I
table?
have a child.
Exactly.
I have a child.
You know what?
All she has.
You know what always fascinated me
Louisiana
about
Titanic. Anybody? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
about the top of the billboard too. The top of the billboard, sometimes you'd see like Rod Stewart sings the classics at number one for like weeks, and you'd be like, well, how the fuck is that? Like, but someone explained it to me. It's like because old people really will go to Best Buy still and pay $20 and buy it. And that's why it's like,
because
this is
the only way I know how to listen to music.
They don't want to hear about MP3s. They want their physical thing from the store for $20 still, and it charts.
That's it. And that same old person is going to like, some porno store to buy that VHS, of like
Take it
big,
easy.
You
on
have
VHS.
shaved beavers, 58.
Shave Beaver 58.
I've got the first 57, and I've been looking for this.
I hear they're exploring new territory in this one.
So, but I mean, like, and here it is, like all the hard work. Like, you guys have been a band for how long?
10 years this year.
And like now you guys are like, it seems like you're constantly on tour. Like you guys grind. Like you guys put out a record and then you just go.
It's like exactly the opposite.
Oh, really?
I call it the hardcore Army Reserve.
Why you got to blow up my poser status?
Well, I mean, I'm glad that the Smoke and Mirrors is doing its job. Like it seems like we do a lot, but like we just go places for like a day and then come back. Because we all have regular 9 to 5s, so we have to work around our vacation time and shit like that. Plus, I've been with my girlfriend for like a bunch of years now. Brendan's married. Our guitar player has been with his girl for a while, so we all have to like mitigate like vacations, like family-based stuff and band stuff. But we've been able to like just find this balance.
What's the longest stretch you've been out?
Well, like I said, I call it the Hardcore Army Reserve. It's 2 weekends a month, 1 week a year.
Okay.
So like we do one big thing a year where we use like a week of vacation time, and then usually it's just weekends where we like leave Friday after work, drive, and maybe play New Jersey that night.
Okay.
Go down to like Baltimore or up to Boston or Albany or something like that. And then we've just recently because like that's just the way the engine works. And then we do one big thing a year. So like we did a week with Terror one time. We did like a leg of the Life and Death tour the year before that. We're going to Japan in September.
Oh, nice.
To play Blood Axe Fest with like First Blood and what the hell is that band?
I mean,
yeah, it's like
That's
so
gotta
we,
be
yeah we do
exciting,
one
yeah.
big thing a year.
Yeah.
And
you hear that, kids? You guys are fucking working way too hard. Like, how the fuck? So what do you attribute the success to? Because you guys are pretty successful, but if you're
Just
not
really really lucky.
yeah,
Just really really lucky. To be brutally honest, like we don't try to like write songs to like be a certain way. We just write songs that we think are good.
yeah.
And I think if you're just like honest in the way that you kind of like approach doing this, people will feel that honesty and it'll come through in the music, and you'll just like I'm really lucky that all of us are in this band together.
Yeah, I mean, what I like of everything that's happened, because I mean, it's super hard. I would imagine to chart with playing hardcore music. Like that's something. Like you guys are playing like really heavy music that's to a certain demo. It's not like Katy Perry or some shit that appeals to everyone. Yet, like you guys are connecting with so many people, man. That's fucking great.
It's like I said, it's just a really really cool special thing. And
I might have to rub your shoulder before you leave here, man. Jesus Christ.
It's just, and but the other thing is like you realize the fragility of it. Like, kids don't like you one day. That's it. Then kids don't, and then once that's
You know what you do then? You start a band that sounds like Bruce Springsteen, like everyone else.
Oh, I would like to be in a like a bar cover band and just play like Bon Jovi like 4 nights a week.
Nice.
It'd be so great.
What era though?
So great.
I mean,
Yeah.
like the new era.
I would pretty much just play like everything, like
if you're only doing Bon Jovi too, you'd have to come up with like a clever name, play on words.
yeah.
like Jovi Bon.
Yeah, like something really, or a play on one of their song
caution,
titles.
Caution, wet floor.
I like that. Hold on a second.
Or you can make shirts with like the slipping guy, like that, like the sign
Yeah,
that
the
says
slipping
slippery
guy.
when
That's
wet,
it.
I like
etc.
So
Yeah.
man, that sounds awesome. So you said this was like your first hardcore band.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
I know. I was always into hardcore, and just hook or by crook, the bands that I played in were not it.
Were
and
you
I was just
what kind of stuff?
I was like in the first band. Well, I mean, like not counting like the bands that I was in middle school and high school, because we just played covers pretty much. I played in like a pop punk kind of band. I played like an emo band. I was in a grindcore band for a little bit. I played in a Christian metalcore band, and then I played in Incendiary, which was like my first hardcore band. But I had been to hardcore like the whole time. I just was just never in like a regular band like that.
Okay.
And how would you adjust your playing in those bands? Like, do you feel like you were a natural hardcore drummer, or you're like just? I mean, maybe you're just good at everything then.
I always just felt I was like a drummer, and I tried to be like musical tofu. Like I just take on the flavor of what's around me. So it's a lot of listening, and I think by playing with such a diverse range of styles, like it kind of like it made writing parts that fit guitar parts a little bit easier, because you learn to listen to, you learn to like listen what to hear for as far as changes go. It's like, oh, we're playing this 4 times, and then here's a change, so you could like, and you know how to like fit stuff in.
Okay.
So I think that's like a pretty big key in, as far as like being able to play different types of music, is knowing what to listen for.
And when did you start playing drums?
I started in a school band when I was in 4th grade. like concert band. I got kicked out of concert band in 6th grade because I didn't practice because they kept giving me the goddamn woodblock. And my middle school was like super competitive with the school band.
So
it
that
was
wood block in the beginning must have brought you back.
Yeah.
You didn't get the they didn't give you the timpani, no guns.
No, nothing.
Triangle.
Not even a goddamn ride
triangle.
cymbal. Not even a fucking triangle. I was like on woodblock on 2 like Spanish clave songs. So I was like, what the fuck am I gonna practice for? But I still like playing.
Okay.
And so they kicked me out, and my dad was like, "Oh, do you still want to play drums?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right." Because he's a landscaper. He's like, if you work on my truck this summer, I'll get you a drum set at the end of the
Was he ever a musician?
My dad played guitar. Yeah,
he played guitar.
He was he played guitar like most of his life. He was in a band with his brother,
Selden,
and they played.
Man, I'm telling you, man, we fucking you know,
Yeah.
that's that 11784 shit.
Yeah.
Parallel to Lindenhurst back then. Parallel. No, Lindenhurst and Selden have the wildest parallels, man. It's just like total like dirtbag, like fucking like music, like
Yeah.
It's just this weird connection of like Iron Maiden. You know what I'm saying? Like just crazy.
Iron Maiden and bike jumps. That's the connection.
And occasionally crack.
Yeah, occasionally.
Hello, crack, man.
A sprinkle of crack.
Sprinkle of crack.
I don't want to leave no mysteries.
So, all right. So your dad used to play in a band. That's awesome.
Yeah, my dad played in bands when he was younger. With his brother, my uncle played bass, and I don't know. I was always just kind of like drawn to the drums when I was little. Like it's like the cliche story. I was hitting pots and pans and couch cushions with like wooden spoons.
Were there certain players that were an influence that you looked up to that's like made the drums? Okay, that's
Tommy Lee in Motley Crue.
Nice.
When I was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? You were talking about the marching band stuff before.
Your concert band shit, yeah.
Maybe
same shit.
Yeah. So I remember I was thinking Tommy Lee because he had that show on Channel 4. Tommy Lee Goes to College or some shit.
I remember
and
that.
he was like in the marching
Yeah, but
band.
for real, he was in a marching
He was a drumline
band
guy
in
high school.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing pictures when I read The Dirt, I think.
Yeah.
It was in there,
That book
right?
is tight as fuck.
Shit.
So good.
Best rock
so
bio book ever.
It's really, really good
The
if you get a chance to
The story
read it.
that man's lower half could tell.
Because they alternate chapters between the band members.
I
in the Dirt.
love that
Mick
way they did it.
Mars's chapters are so crazy because like he has this thing where like his spine is fusing into bone, so he's like in constant pain, but he doesn't take any drugs at all, and he never got fucked up. Everyone else in that band was like snorting lines of ants, and he was just like stone sober 24/7.
He was a lot older than him. Too.
Yeah.
He was like 10 years.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
at
when
least.
he answered the ad, that's what they said. They're like, here comes this dude who was like, I guess 35 at the time. Or
Yeah.
something. Like something wild.
But to like hear all those like Motley Crue stories from his perspective, it's like so nuts. It's so nuts because he's like the clarity in the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And also, you didn't know much about him.
Yeah,
whereas
very
the other guys were
mysterious.
all front and center.
I need the audio book. My thing about reading, I can't do it.
He better record it quick.
Yeah.
Book on tape.
I'm looking
do,
good,
man. I just can't concentrate.
I'll call you up and read it to you.
Nice. Bedtime story.
Actually, you know what I told someone? I said that if someone actually wrote a book in Facebook statuses, I'd read it.
I remember that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm
Dude,
reading statuses all day long.
You're missing out. You gotta.
I
You
can't.
gotta. Like I said, we're older now. All our bands have written books.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes,
Good
but that's the
time.
beauty of podcast.
Right.
That's the beauty of podcasts for me because I really do think, not just because we started doing one, but I think it's the future. I think it really is. If you're into cars, if you're into anything, there's 3 jerk-offs in some basement.
Yeah.
Us.
With a fourth jerk off as a guest.
There's 3 jerk-offs
With a
somewhere.
rotating jerk off.
With a rotating jerk. That sounds like something you got to pay extra for.
You guys missed that whole
That
Groucho.
was a Groucho.
Yo, you can't even make a. You know what? I'm glad you guys appreciate the Groucho joke because I would have done that like around younger people and they'd be like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And I was just like, "You'll never get a Groucho joke." Fuck.
We like the old stuff. I'm half dead myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how old this fucking guy is? This show, he had sleeves like when we started the show. But podcasts are the way of the future. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I think what it is like whatever you're into, someone's talking about it, and it's they're inviting you into that conversation, whatever it is. And I think that's how bands and music and movies will live on. You don't.
Probably right,
I'm fucking listening to whatever podcast and they're talking about like Crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
I've never wanted to listen to Crowbar. As soon as I'm listening to that podcast, I fucking go listen to Crowbar.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know?
Well,
And
it's streamlined everything down to like your specific interests.
Right.
Like you don't have to have filler or listen to that show. Wait till they get to like it's. There's something for everybody, no matter what you're into. You know,
No matter
That's definitely the future.
Right.
no matter
I think especially this podcast in particular is
It's very specified.
Up and
It's like
coming.
specified entertainment, so you could like really dial it in. It's just
Sure.
like, well, I don't like this podcast about fishing, but this other podcast about fishing, that's the good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like they talk about
this guy
like,
talks about trout all the
Yeah.
time, but
I'm
I'm
not-
more of a
that's-
bass man.
I'm a fly fisherman, so I'm going to go listen to the fly fishing podcast as
absolutely.
opposed to the deep sea fishing podcast.
Sure.
and it's allowing like people into a conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to hear what those four guys are talking about. Like whether it be Let There Be Talk, which I love. He'll have Mike Inez from Alice in Chains. I'm like, fuck.
Right.
That dude played with fucking Ozzy, Alice in Chains.
Many.
Like, I want to listen.
Sure.
And they're allowing me to hit play and sit in and listen to their conversation.
Plus,
No
no
doubt.
break off of commercials. There's all kinds of pros to it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You really it's an intimate way to get to know these people because it's not broken up into
Yeah.
anything. It's like you're having the conversation with
Yes.
them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
then-
you're laughing along and like, you know, you're like getting the points and you're like, you know, it's like, oh shit, you know, like you talk and stuff.
You're
'cause-
talking,
Yeah.
and what I love, like my friend Derek hit me up and he is like, yo, he's like, it killed me that I couldn't chime in during the Jane's Addiction talk. I love that.
Yes.
Because it's, if that's what it makes you do, it's supposed to make you want to be like, oh shit, I got something to say to that. I got something to say to that.
Yep.
You know, so I love that, and whatever comes up, you know, to continue the technology, I'm like, oh, I never heard of that band. Let me listen to them on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so direct. What do you think about Spotify for someone who?
Oh, I think it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But like, I just love being able to like listen to everything that I want when it's, you know, like it's right there. I was a big proponent of CDs. Like I was.
Me too.
You know, like so I
Absolutely.
still have a bundle of about 75 at my house. You know, and I have a CD booklet in my car right now. But I've been using Spotify for the past like 6-8 months, and it's great. It's 1,000% great. The only thing that sucks is like it's like if you're in a dead spot, you really can't get it.
yes,
I,
which
I like the temporary download to the phone though. If there's
Yeah.
stuff you know you want to listen to, but once I got exposed to that, I was like, wow, this is
I fought it.
not since Napster.
Not
that
yeah.
mind blowing experience.
I
like,
fought
holy
it.
Fuck.
I fought it because I had an iPod with 160 gigs. I had a backup hard drive. I had
Damn.
like 30,000 songs. I'm like, I don't give a shit. My girlfriend wanted it, so I got it for her, whatever it was, Christmas or some
Right.
shit. I didn't give a shit. Then my iPod shit the bed, and I was like, what am I going to do, lug around this fucking hard drive? And I was like, let me try that free trial month. And then I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do I want to listen to? And everything I want to listen to
Kid in the candy
for
store.
like
Yeah.
33 cents a day. I'm like,
Well, I had like option paralysis right away. I was just like, I don't know what I want to hear, but I could have access to everything, and I was like panicking because there's too many choices.
too many.
But
I'm
then it's
hoarding
like,
playlists right now. Like that, I have way too many. And sometimes
Too many.
It's overwhelming.
I have used the playlist feature very sparingly, but I wind up just like following a lot of artists, so that way they're in my like scroll on the side, and I could just kind of like
some they let you
I could just
know.
like
Yeah.
you know skip through it and be like, oh yeah, you know what, I kind of want to listen to Huey Lewis in the News right
Yeah.
now, you know.
And you can, and that's
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the randomness.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I want to listen to Phil Collins, but seriously,
Yeah,
Right.
like
yeah.
okay, I don't have to dig for CD. Like it's just there.
You
And
have that.
Or if you get like an earworm, like oh, I have to listen to this song right now.
Right.
Boom, you put it on.
You put it
there-
on.
and it's magic.
fucking Bluetooth.
You know?
Yeah,
Like-
it is magic.
like-
fucking Bluetooth.
It's magic. Like the other day I had that Eagle song "Those Shoes," you know, like stuck in my head because I think I listened to Paul's Boutique about a week before. The beginning of one of the Paul's Boutique songs is the beginning of that Eagle song, and it's just like, man, that's such like a hard song. You know, it just makes me want to do bad things. I want to listen to this song
Yeah.
right goddamn now, and I put it on. I was like, fuck yeah, and I listened to it twice in a row.
What bad things did you do though?
Nothing, but it's just I wanted to.
thought about doing bad things.
I thought maybe you like punched the wall or something.
No,
The
it's
Eagle
just
song.
it's like the No, well, it's like
I hear you, Glenn Fry. Fuck yeah.
imagine what like the bad guy in Miami Vice, would be doing.
Yes. I got you.
Smuggler's Blues.
You belong
Great
to the
song.
city.
Yeah. So
What was that, Beverly Hills Cop 2, maybe?
Smuggler's Blues was
think it's from
no,
something.
it's Miami Vice.
That's the
The you,
Fabulous Thunderbirds,
you
right?
belong
No,
to the
no, it's
city.
Glenn Fry.
Glenn
that
Fry.
tune
Oh.
was Miami Vice, wasn't
I
it?
know. I know the song. Yeah.
Fabulous Thunderbirds. That's a good one.
Tough enough.
Yeah.
Tough
Oh, that's
enough.
what it was.
Tough
Tough
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was
That guy is Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother. Yeah.
Figures.
yeah.
Wrap it up,
Figures.
man.
I know that
Oh
guy.
God, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I'll take it. Oh, shit.
Rap.
Remember
Break that
singer?
Spotify out. I don't even have that shit, but sign me up.
When they came out, that singer was what, 66 years old?
He was so old. Okay,
And
so
he didn't even try to.
no
Like,
one's
he
gonna
looked
know
like,
what the fuck we're talking. We
fuck?
could just be talking about. We could be
He's
making
got
this
that
up.
cap
but it's
to the
not.
side.
It's so funny.
We have
Double-breasted suit.
Yeah, he didn't even try to look like, I guess that was their thing, though,
here's the thing.
Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Here
Add that to the playlist.
Where are they now?
here's the thing though.
What?
There's 3 jerk-offs sitting in Thailand somewhere right now listening. Not now, but I guess whenever we post it.
Right.
And they're going to be like, Fabulous Thunderbirds. We're going to send people on a Fabulous Thunderbirds search.
And they're gonna become
I hope
culturally
so.
relevant. They're
I mean,
gonna
you
get a
just
little-
called them jerk-offs. They might tune out.
Sorry to the
Take that
People's
shit
Republic
back,
of
Sam.
Thailand.
But the positive is they might be in Billboard 200 next week.
You could imagine a resurgence of
Right?
people clamor. If
Thunderbirds
they're
are
alive,
back.
that guy's got to be dead. That singer.
Maybe his hat's, straight now.
It's probably hanging in the was it the Hard Rock
in the Hard Rock.
next to like Eddie Van Halen's guitar, the Fabulous Thunderbirds Kangol looking hat. I don't even know what kind of hat that was.
It's in like the
It was like a
the Hard
French
Rock
artist.
Oneonta.
It was like a French artist hat. And he was so...
a beret,
It was like a...
like a rockabilly beret.
And he looked like
God.
every hoagie eater in Chicago.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Like he looked like he was in that fucking The Bears.
He looked like a professional pool player.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so check out
It's
the.
in the way that
That's
you
what I love about the
Yeah.
show is I had no
Another
idea
one.
we were going to
Color
go
of
so
Money,
deep
man.
in it.
Solid
bullet
movie.
points,
Yep.
man.
Come on, if you don't fuck with Color of Money, go home. The movie's
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
goddamn good.
I don't.
Now I know
think
how old
saw
you
it.
are.
Sequel to The Hustler,
Yep.
Minnesota Fats, man.
Yep.
Now I know how old you are.
Paul Newman, both movies,
Yep.
solid. Jackie Gleason.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Was
Jack
that-
Gleason was the Sting.
no.
Right?
Who was
Sting
the
2.
Honeymooners guy? What the
Yeah.
fuck was
Oh,
his name?
Jackie
Art
Gleason.
Carney.
No, the other guy.
Jackie Gleason.
Jackie
Gleason.
Gleason. Jackie Gleason.
All right.
Oh, I get him confused. Jackie Mason, that dude from Caddyshack.
Caddyshack 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Caddyshack 2, and what was his TV show? Chicken Soup or Chicken Soup?
I don't
He had,
remember.
he had
I
a,
don't-
a show on Channel 4.
Jackie Mason, he fucked up Caddyshack too for me. Come on.
Don't have it.
You can't replace Rodney.
No, you
You
can't.
can't.
You can't, especially with a movie that just tried to. It was almost like a remake.
It was
know?
the same shit. Or
Yeah.
a slovenly rich guy that wants to ruin their golf course.
Yeah.
And there you go. Hijinks ensued.
Nope.
You know.
There you go.
But they got Kenny Rogers back again for the fucking soundtrack.
Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins. Fuck.
Yeah.
You got me all fucked up with this Thunderbird
You get your
shit.
Jackie Gleason and Mason
Yeah.
confused. Him,
You get your
Rogers and
Kennys.
Loggins.
Loggins and Messina.
Can I say?
Rogers. Loggin Rogers.
Can I say?
Courier and Ives.
Holy shit.
Speaking of Kenny Rogers,
Roasters and Incendiary.
Yes.
Yeah,
there
man.
you go. Well, I'm not going to go there. That's a little bit too geographical for the people listening in
Geographically
Wyoming. But yeah, I remember my band. Well, this cover band that I would do every now and then. We did Lebowski Fest, and we covered that Kenny Rogers song, and it's fucking awesome.
The Gambler.
No. The other good one.
Islands in the Stream.
The one from the Big Lebowski.
There's another one?
Islands in the Stream.
All right. Well, anyway, listen. The band.
So I got a drum set in 6th grade after working on my dad's landscaping truck all summer.
Yes.
And so I started my first band. We played like 30 songs. 15 of them were Beatles songs, and the rest of them were Nirvana songs. And I think we played Wild Thing. And then we played at like a backyard Halloween party one time. And that was the first time where I was just like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know, like I could do this. You know?
I mean, was it like one of those things that you picked up right away, or like did you have to like work at it? Or did you feel like a natural almost?
I don't. It just like
Did you feel like Butch Reed?
like Charlie and Always Sunny. I was like kicking ass at the piano. It's like, Charlie, you're amazing at piano. Yeah, it just makes sense. You know, like drums just made sense to me. You know,
take
like,
lessons at all? Or it was
not
very
really,
purely,
not on a kit. You know, like I just like
playing along
I
with
just
your
figured it
favorite
out.
songs,
Yeah, and
and-
I would play to like a CD player, and I'd play like every day, and I'd like play to songs. You know, I'd have like these big headphones that covered my ears. Like I got them specifically for that, and I just play like every day along with every CD that I had.
Everyone starts with Nirvana and the Beatles. Those are like
Yeah.
two.
That was like 6th grade, and then I like got a double bass pedal, and then I was like playing like VOD songs and like Sepultura songs, and it was like, and then I would play along to like Dream Theater, like try to, you know.
Once you go blast beat, you can't go back.
Well, actually, I just saw his other band Carcosa, and then they covered Propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there thinking like, yo, they're covering Sepultura right now.
yeah.
This fucking, and that's like, I don't want to say the best song on the record, but it's definitely close
It's
to
up
the
there.
best song.
It's a fucking ass beater,
Yeah,
man.
it's
is.
so fucking
Absolutely.
good. Like Chaos AD is such a goddamn good record.
Yep.
You know, we got to get Max on the show.
I got
probably
my
would do
feelers
it.
out.
Well, they're touring on Nail Bomb. They're
really?
I
yeah,
heard they're playing the
they're
whole
playing Point
thing,
Blank.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, with Alex Newport.
He'll basically do anything but try to, reunite with Sepultura, I guess, at this point. Like any side
It's
project.
like there was a
I
band
do.
that I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
They should just, listen, I'm not in that band. I don't know their differences. I know it had something to do with Max's wife being the manager
Yep.
and money. Probably it always comes back to money. But God, I wish they'd get back together just for
That
one
would be
tour.
an amazing. But I mean,
Like
at
a
this,
Chaos AD like 20-year anniversary or
Yeah,
something like
or
that.
just
you know?
do Beneath the Remains, Arise, and Chaos AD.
Bam.
I'd be happy as fuck.
I remember I was supposed to see them with Pantera, and then he went out for fucking knee surgery, and they canceled.
Who, Phil?
No,
Max.
Max
Max.
Cavalera, so they canceled.
Because Phil's always going out for
Yeah.
surgery.
So I got stuck watching
Conveniently.
Prong instead. I had to deal with fucking Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck instead.
You don't like Prawn?
Nah. Come on now. Not a Prong fan. Pantera was great though.
Oh yeah,
Played for fucking 3 hours.
fuck yeah.
Pantera played for 3 hours.
Yeah.
What era
What-
Pantera?
what they do?
What,
Every
was
record
it,
twice?
Yeah.
Was it Try and Kill era or
No,
before?
this was before.
Before Phil
Far Beyond
discovered
Driven?
heroin.
I don't even know
apparently.
if it was Far Beyond Driven. It might have
Really?
been Vulgar, yeah, because I think I
Wow.
was 16.
They only had 2
That's
records.
crazy.
Yeah. Maybe it was Far Beyond. Yeah.
Maybe early,
Maybe they
like
took
just
long,
before Far
long,
Beyond.
like
came out.
instrumental stretches. And they'd all walk off stage, and Diamond would play for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
General admission in Nassau Coliseum. That was the scariest point of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Sick.
Killer
That was
lineup.
horrible. Great, but horrible. You know.
Wow.
Now you had that story to tell.
Say,
Yeah.
That's
You know,
it.
it all worked out
put
for
on
the podcast.
Spotify, you know. Maybe Pantera, Fabulous Thunderbirds, you know.
We're gonna get you on that Spotify.
Oh, fuck that
Well,
shit.
going
You're
back to
getting-
going back to Spotify for a second. Remember like those old mixes you would buy, like Punkorama and all
Yeah,
those other things.
The EVR comps.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
all that stuff, like all those comps, even like Metal Massacre, like as far back as you want to go. I feel like,
516 comp.
yeah, I feel like Spotify, you could do that. Like the labels should basically do that and get those playlists out there because that's what's going to get the people to listen to the artists on your label. And I think it's just at this point, it's like I feel once everyone subscribes to the way it is, either Apple Music if you have an iPhone or Android for Spotify. I feel the pool of money. I feel like it's just going to be distributed way better once everyone. It's going to be like the bar. It's like okay,
Like a single payer streaming service.
yeah, I guess yeah.
Like
And
it's just like okay, this is just the one thing for streaming.
That's it.
But then I mean, I don't know. You get to a lot of logistical stuff like who dictates the price and blah blah blah.
Oh, I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. I'm shitting out of my mouth. Here.
Well, I know it's all.
It
with,
should
like,
be cool, man.
I remember for a while there was no like Slayer's new albums would be on there, but nothing from Metal Blade. Like Show No Mercy wasn't on
Yeah.
there. And then I noticed other Metal Blade, like maybe they had all the Anthrax albums, but not Fistful of Metal. So something with Johnny Z negotiating with that, and then eventually it seems to pop up. You know what I mean?
well,
But-
Metal Blade's all up in there now. So
Yeah.
I heard Brian Slagle on Jamie Josta's podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and those two guys are about their business. They
Oh,
def- they-
fuck yeah.
All right, they know their shit.
No
So,
question.
so anyway, going back to what you were saying, you're a kid, blah blah blah. You're playing fucking drums,
Yeah.
and so just give me more on like your journey to like becoming a hardcore drummer, man.
Oh,
like,
right.
what,
So then,
how you start listening to VOD stuff, right?
Yeah. That's like pretty much where that was the first hardcore show that I went to. My friend Dan used to like give me rides home from school, and like this is gonna be tangential for just like a half second, but like remember like when car stereo culture was like huge?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Everyone had fucking hooked up systems. Does not exist today. Like it's like down like 90%. Talk
yeah.
about a fucking market that tanked.
Because if you were hanging in a parking lot, like, because we would hang out at the Cheap John's parking lot,
Yep.
like 50, 60 deep, or like, if you had a supermarket, there was like 50 or 60 of us hanging out there, and that one person had his fucking trunk
Yeah.
up, and it was banging.
Like
6 CD changer.
7 out of 10 people that I knew in high school had one. You know, like hooked up system, blah blah blah. I always had like a piece of shit car, and I never had enough money for a car stereo anyway. But like my friend Dan had like this Eclipse with like a fucking banging system in the trunk, and he would always play like Neglect and VOD and like Tension and all this shit from like the old like Suffolk County hardcore
Yeah.
shit. And then he was doing a project for his sociology class about hardcore. He's like, "Do you want to come do a show with me?" I was like, "Yeah." So we went to go see. It was a Warped Weeble Wobble show at the Levittown Jewish Center. And it was VOD, Glassjaw, and I think like 10-Yard Fight was playing or something like that. And I remember just like walking in at the end of Glassjaw's set, and just like people like jumping off the stage and like flipping over monitors, and it's just like, all right, this is the thing. This is
what
the
I
thing
was
that.
looking
And then I saw
for,
VOD
yeah.
play, and I was just like, God damn it, like wow, this is the thing.
Was it
That was
like
19
demo era?
It was 1998.
Okay.
So I think Green Album was
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I asked for it for Christmas, and I got it, and I probably burnt that thing out. I listened to
You
it
went to
so
the wall?
much. Yeah, definitely the wall. Put the sticker on it, and then you just keep getting free ones because you pop out the tray and the booklet, and then
Yeah,
you
that's it.
put whatever CD you want, you bring it back.
Absolutely.
Shout out to those people for following
Shout out to
me.
the wall. Yeah.
Following me every time I walked in there for good reason. I just want to tell you people I was stealing, and you're right.
They usually have a hole in the wall in the back.
Get
Did
it?
it?
The one I worked in Riverhead, there was a hole. When you go in the back door to the left,
The hole in the back door?
there was a hole like right there where you hide. There would always be somebody
Just
back
like
there.
crotch level.
You have to. Oh, there were some pervs that were looking in there when the girls came in from high school. But yeah, when someone went down, it was right in front of the hip hop and reggae section. I don't, that's a very bad thing. But it was like someone would
Problematic
walk
hole in
back
the wall.
there all the time and watch through the hole in the wall.
Well,
Gross.
Yeah,
what I used to do
it happened.
What I used to do when I used to do hood rat shit over in Selden, we used to bring like a razor blade in our pocket. So I would just take cassettes and put them in my pocket and like walk around with my hand in my pocket, and I would take the razor with my thumb and like
Cut the
cut
sensor
the
tag.
alarm off, and then
Sick.
from there like I'd walk around and walk out with like 5 cassettes and like leave all the fucking
There was
Truth be
moves
told, I still steal shit now.
Nah, look
all
at
the
you,
time.
man.
for
Look
the
at you.
thrill of it.
I Home Depot, I robbed them of so many drill bits and like little bullshit for like a Dremel tool.
Yeah.
Because I got one because I build snare drums sometimes, and I must have stole so much shit.
Look at you,
Oh
man.
my god,
I
it's
love it.
great.
Thrill.
It's great. You could do it. Wintertime, just slide it right. Oh
Yeah.
man, walk right out the fucking door.
As long
I,
as
I,
I'm
st- I
alive.
stole a fucking goddamn
I'm a little
64 gig micro SD card from Walmart one time because I just put it in the fold of a towel. Stupid kid didn't even fucking pay attention. You should have rang me out in electronics to let me walk that shit all the way up to self checkout. Hit it in a fold in a towel. Just wringed out the towel for $3.99 and then walked out with like a $64 memory card.
That's a good method.
Yeah,
Well,
man. Suck my dick,
ex,
Walmart.
my ex-girlfriend stole a ladder from
Yeah!
Home Depot.
That's impressive.
She fucking
Wow.
How big?
Under a towel? Holy shit.
That must have been a pretty big towel.
Yeah, holy shit.
so she,
Sounds like a towel my mother-in-law uses.
you know. So she takes the ladder from like whatever aisle the ladder's in, and she walks it straight to the return aisle desk.
Yo, that's a move I've done.
That's some bull.
Not with a ladder. That's fucking ballsy.
Yeah, she fucking just took it and walked it from there to the return. I want to return this. Here's your fucking money. Go get high.
Wow.
One time, I remember up in Binghamton when I was at college, me and my friend would look for receipts
Yes.
that people
and you would
discarded.
steal.
You go in, steal what's on the receipt,
Yes.
and then
Yep.
return it. That was one move. And back in the day with the cassettes, when they were in those long plastic, I had one of them trench coat mafia jackets before
Nice.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Well, not
Before
cool.
everyone got killed.
Before Basketball Diaries.
It was pre-dead. And you cut out the... you cut the pockets, the bottom, and it still went down that far,
Yep.
so you could slide all the
Slide all that
plastics right
shit.
down and line it right around your jacket. Boom.
If only we had a young audience.
That knew.
Yeah.
what- it's like, yo,
I'm saying if only we had a young audience that we could like mold into like future
Yeah.
thieves of America.
Well, they can steal digitally. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
back when I was younger, we used to have to steal that shit physically. You'd walk in a store and look it up and down, and you take your cassette.
No way, Grandpa. BitTorrent.
you just email the company and talk bad about them on Twitter, and they'll give you whatever you want. All right, Bryson, shut the fuck up.
That is true. That is true. So,
I actually had to steal shit.
so how did you end up?
Oh, so the first band that I like serious kind of band that I played in was like right after high school. It was called Guy Incognito. We were from Merrick, and we were a pop punk band. And I was friends. The one dude, John, who played guitar, was my manager at Hot Topic, and that's how I got in. He was just like, "We need a drummer." I was like, "I love playing drums. Let's do it." And so I just started playing with them. We planned out a 2-week tour, and the first leg got canceled. So we just hung out
Sounds like a
on
tour.
the Eastern Seaboard for like a week and
One
staying at
leg.
like Campgrounds of America and shit. The first show we played was in fucking Searcy, Arkansas, and that was the first time I ever played a show like that far off of Long Island.
How'd that go?
I mean, the tour was like beat. You know, it was
Yeah.
back when you had to print out MapQuest directions and call the promoter from a payphone.
Yep.
You know, and use like Hangstrom Atlas, you know, AAA cards, shit like
Yeah.
that. So that's how we did it, and we drove
That
all the
was-
way across, you know, like down to Arkansas and back up on that shit. Went to the Sears Tower, like saw the St. Louis Arch. You know, it was fucking awesome. We were doing it in a van, bought a bunch of cheap beer, ate hot dogs, like shit like that.
Anytime you could do that at that age and like hang out with your friends, like
Yeah.
it's almost like, oh, I guess we'll play a show too.
Yep.
Right.
Like you're just hanging out.
Yep.
You know.
Did like a whole ounce of weed.
Nice.
We were all like heavy,
some
like
weed?
yeah. Oh, did a little weed.
Shout out to weed. Shout
Yeah,
out to
weed is tight.
So
So that was that, and then you know, that like kind of ended. Then I played in like this like kind of like just like straight ahead kind of like poppy band. It was like a little weird, but it was just like I just wanted to play, so I did that. And I played in a grind band called Fire for Effect for a while. And that was like the first time I was kind of like playing blast beat type stuff. And then I didn't do it again for a while until
that'll-
Arcosa.
Yeah, and that'll really build up like your drumming, because it's really not like a straightforward thing. Like grind is like definitely like,
Yeah, it's
it'll
like-
work you out.
It's all over the
endurance
road. There's
thing,
like
yeah.
there's like blasty parts, there's double bassy parts, you know, and you're like moving around a lot, and
Sure.
it's like a fast and intense, you know. So it's you
But
got to keep.
that's probably great though that you played in like pop stuff. You did grindcore, and you bring all that to your playing. It probably gives you like a new, a different angle to incorporate all that stuff.
Yeah, it makes you more diverse, and you know, like I said, it's just like it lets you like hear what's supposed to go there.
And do you like somewhere like down the line? Like I don't know what you do for a living, so I just don't. But like in a perfect world, like would you 10 years from now like want to do like be like a session drummer?
Oh, for sure,
Right?
1,000%.
1,000%,
You know,
right?
yeah. I like I said, like my hardcore retirement plan is to play like in a cover band that plays like Bon Jovi and Billy Joel. You know,
You're dead
Oh,
serious?
shit.
yeah, dead ass.
Yeah,
Brian
my God.
loves Billy
I might.
Joel.
Yo, I know how to play "I'll Be There for You" and sing it. So.
You know, like play like Bruno Mars at a wedding. You know, and then oh, cool, $700
Yeah.
for
Yep.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And all I did was kick ass for 2 hours at the
Yeah.
drums. Oh
That's
shit,
good money.
this
And
free
sucks.
food.
Good
And
money
then
in
I
that
do this
racket.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. You
Yeah.
know, so that's like, oh cool. all this extra money just for kicking ass, making white girls dance, and having people buy beers.
Shout out to white girls.
Yo, shout out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they get
girls.
lost in the shout outs.
They're there, you know.
They do.
They're around.
You know?
One time I played Killing Me Softly at an open mic, and the place fucking lost their goddamn mind. Me and my friend John, he was playing it on acoustic, and guy could sing as the day is long, you know, and everyone got up. So I was like, this is, you know, and that was like another like, you know, performance aha moment. We're like, oh shit.
You went Roberta
Yeah.
Flack style at Fuji's.
Fuji's.
Okay.
Oh, Fuji style?
Naturally, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Fuji's, naturally.
All right, listen. There's certain songs that just like will always kill.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
But I mean, as long as you cover it and you have someone who could somewhat sing,
Yeah.
you know.
That's very important.
Definitely.
That part, yes.
Unless you do the grindcore version of Killing Me Softly.
There you go.
I don't think that translates too well.
But just the title, though.
Yeah.
This song is called Killing Me Softly. So how do you fucking get into a Christian band?
Oh, okay. So, the grind band I was in was ending, and
you needed Jesus.
I need.
I got to
save-
find the Lord.
No, what's it called? One of my friend Tom Williams from Straight from the Path, because shout out, they are also from Selden, so
Yeah,
I knew them kids like since they were like 16.
Yeah.
It was like crazy. It's like crazy to see the trip that they've been on. But anyway, he said that A Love for Enemies needed a drummer, and suggested me to them and put me in contact with Eric, the singer. And then, you know, I went and tried out and hit it off. It was
I
like,
didn't even know that band was considered that.
yeah, they were on FaceTime. They're
I was gonna say
they're
Tooth and Nail.
Second biggest label, probably, right?
yeah
Based
for
on,
for
bands,
heavy
yeah.
Christian stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Suggested me to them, and we just like pretty much just clicked from day one. You know, we all got along, and like I knew what it was, and I'm not like that at all, and they knew that, and they were like, you know, do you have a problem with us being like this? And I was just like, nah, as long as like you're not gonna like put a gun against my head, you know, because I'm not.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we have no problems with that. Like and I was just like, I'm just gonna be respectful to you guys because, you know, like just the same respect that I would give
Right.
to everyone.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck you. You know, like it's like, yeah, just do you.
Before our first show, we have to take you down to the river and baptize you in the water.
Well, we would all
dunk
like,
your head in the
I think because like
water.
I'm not like into like, you know, like magic and spooky and break a mirror 7 years bad luck, you know, like
You could say Striper. Go ahead.
well no not like into like, you know, like any superstitions really.
Yes.
I kind of believe in the bard's tongue, so I knock on wood a lot, but like
I don't even know what that is.
bard's tongue like is just like you say something like in a satirical way, but then it happens for real, like jinxing yourself. Like I don't want to jinx it, so I just knock on wood, you know, like so I don't fuck myself up. But I'm really superstitious about band stuff, so I'm really into like band ritual and doing the same thing the same way every time.
Yeah.
Like I've never used a white lighter because it's bad luck, and you know, like when I'm done with the set, and this has been like forever, I say good game to everyone that I play with and fist bump. So like right around, good game, good game, good game. Like it was like, you know, that's what you did when you were playing
And they know
sports
that.
when you were
They
a kid.
know that by now.
Everyone we've been doing Incendiary, we've been doing that since day one, but I do that with every band that I'm in. Like
Yeah.
it's just like okay, we all did good, we're all here together. Like thank you for doing this with me. Like that's like what good games means to me, you know.
Cool.
It's just like a unity thing. So in Alfie, before every set, we would all, you know, like they would do like a prayer or whatever, and I'd be in on it too, because it's just like this is like a team unity thing. Like this is like bringing us closer together. This might not be what I believe in, but I'm with you guys on this trip, so let's fucking do it.
Yeah, cool.
You know, and did a full U.S. tour. We did a couple of 2-week tours with Stray, East Coast stuff. Fucking blast. You know, I played Face Down Fest at the Glass House in Pomona. It was like you know 900, you know, 1,000 people, and I'm used to playing to like 12 to 36 people, so it's just like we did the tour with A Day to Remember like just before like they became the biggest band in the fucking world, and we were playing to like between 250 to like 400 kids a night. Just one show in like Nebraska was like 700 kids, and I was like losing my mind. Like I'd never seen and experienced anything like this before. I'm like driving across America, seeing like all this crazy shit. And it's just like, this is fucking sick. You know, like I am so glad that I get to do this.
You get to do it, and not, you know, like I guess because all we know for the most part are musicians. Most people don't really get that experience. It's
Exactly.
like fun. So.
Exactly. Like it's like most people would have no idea why this is special and wouldn't get it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I'm sure like he toured, Parker toured
Mm-hmm.
a bunch, and like we never did. So
Him and I actually did a weekend together.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
Yep.
Where was that?
We went. Where did we go? We went down
I
to.
think it was, what was it, Long Island, Albany, and Jersey.
Yes.
It wasn't far, but it was a fucking blast.
It was a weekend. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a blast.
Killed
with Incendiary.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did Incendiary start?
They started before I did. So after I was like leaving Alfie.
The Danter era.
Yeah. Danter was in Incendiary way back when.
Shout out to Danter.
Once an episode, at least.
Once an
Ink,
episode.
Danter inked up merch.
That's it.
So I think again, Tom from Stray was just like, Incendiary needs a drummer. You know Danter, right? And I was like, yeah, because I knew Danter from John Lewis, who was a singer of Center of Zero, who was in a band with Danter. And John was another one of my managers at Hot Topic, and he did a bunch of my tattoos early on when he still lived out here. So he put me in touch with Dan, and I was like, yo, I play drums. What's going on? And they're like, oh, yeah, we need a drummer. And again, we just like kind of like hit it off right away. Audley and Bobcat, I don't think... No, Bobcat joined the same time I did. Audley came later. We had a different kid. There was this kid, Kevin, who played guitar, and Danter played bass. And then that kid, Kevin, wasn't really working out, so he left, and Audley came in about 6 months after I joined. And then that's pretty much been the lineup. And then Danter left. We got another Kevin to play bass, and then that Kevin left, and now we have Matt McNally, a.k.a. the Hurricane.
The Hurricane. And what was wasn't even the first record?
The first 7-inch we put out was Amongst the Filth.
Okay. What was the first full length?
The first full length was Crusade.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That Danter was on that one. Audley played guitar on that one too. Yeah, that was the first full length that we did.
Yeah, so then they put out the record. I mean, but you said you guys don't really even tour that much, and like,
yeah.
How did you, like, for people like listening, like, how did it all just come together? Like you said, it had to be more than luck.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were all on the same page from the beginning, and we all had the same expectations. So it wasn't like one person wanted to tour full time, and then like the other 4 were holding them back, and they were just like frustrated and pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't like 4 of us were like, we could definitely tour full time, but this dipshit has a real job, so we can't, and
Which
we
is
hate him.
Usually the case.
You know? Yeah. No, we all had like. I think Brendan was going to graduate school. I was going to Stony Brook at night, and I was working like 2, like 1.5 full-time jobs. So we all had like regular life going on. So we knew we weren't going to tour full time pretty much from day one. And then, so we just kept it like that. And I think, I mean, we played not like every weekend, but like a lot of weekends. So we'd play like Long Island, and then we made it a point not to like oversaturate ourselves in certain spots, like not play Long Island too much, because we saw that happening, and it's just like, oh, you're going to burn everyone here out, or you're going to be the, like the house band for this venue. Like if you're on every show, if we were on every show at, Village Pub South, people would just get fucking tired of us. It's like, oh, this fucking band again. So, we kind of like were smart as to how many times we played a certain area, but we played Albany a fuck ton, played Massachusetts a lot, played Jersey a lot, just like stuff that we could drive to on a weekend and do as many of those weekends as possible.
So then that's it. So basically you do these weekends, and then you go back to your regular life.
Yeah.
And then from there, like the following just keeps going and going.
Thank you, the internet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you attribute? I mean, obviously the internet is the big medium and stuff, but like for touring in the a lot of the Northeast, obviously, because you're going on weekends and stuff, to get the word out about your band so much that you've charted with this last one. Like what? Like, how do you bring that all together?
He said luck already.
Yeah, I think it's
sorry.
like we kind of created like a false scarcity by not being able to play so much.
Yeah.
So we played FYA Fest in Florida a couple of years ago. So it's just like, hey, Florida and the surrounding 4 states, if like you want to catch us, this is going to be the one time this year we're going to be in your area. So like, if you're thinking about maybe driving 4 hours to come to this, now you definitely are. Or if we're doing like a weekend in California, which we tend to do, play a couple of shows out there. It's just like, oh, hey, West Coast, if you want to catch us, like, this is the time we're going to be here, and we're probably not going to be back till next year. Right. And as opposed to bands that like maybe tour 9 months out of the year and will play California 4 times that year, or will play, like Baltimore 4 times that year. So like someone is just like, oh, well, I'm not going to go to the time that they play in March because I'm going to see them play in August when they come back.
Of course.
That's a credit to how solid your material is too. You know what I mean? Because obviously that method wouldn't work with everybody, but the music, the quality.
And I think
Thank
the
you.
live shows like really
absolutely. Yeah, it's an event.
Yeah, definitely. But who are your peers then? Like who are the bands that you feel like are your peers? I mean, the only one I can think of is like Backtrack.
I don't know. I don't even like. It's just weird. Like I've never seen us in that way before. You know what I mean? Like that we were a big deal. I'm just like I've always seen this as just like I'm just playing in this band with my friends, and it's like we're still playing like the like fucking Ethical Center in Garden City or like a couple other places. Like it's just like it just always seems like that, and then you look back on it, it's just like, oh, there was like a lot of people there. This is like insane. Like because I for some reason I just don't see it that way.
I mean, and do you feel because I don't know, but maybe you guys are just waving the Long Island hardcore flag pretty high above, like like you guys are kind of, like that next band doing that sound, because I don't really know. Like I said, I don't know that world, so I don't know what other bands are doing the same thing that you're doing.
There's a lot of like younger bands that are coming up that are like doing it. Yeah,
like
who? Like Hangman, this other band Jab, so the band The Fight. Those are that's like the next wave that's coming up now, like the younger kids. So the band Limit. So like those are the ones that are like coming up next.
Yeah.
And like kind of like following that line. Sanction, Detriment, those guys have been around for a couple of years now. We played a bunch of shows with them, and they're still moving in that direction too. So it's like it's there. As far as like peers, I would like obviously Backtrack, this band Power Trip, Code Orange.
Man,
Hold
on a second.
Whoa.
I gotta say, Power Trip. That band's
Power
fucking
Trip.
awesome.
So sick, great guys
Brutal.
too. We played a bunch of shows with them.
That record.
Shout out to Riley.
I'm not gonna mention it now, but yeah, that last record is like one of my favorite records of 2017.
Absolutely.
Yeah, blew me away.
They're so good live. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They like they toured with Lamb of God, I think, and like they like fucking deserve it because they are seriously kicking so much ass.
Yeah, I missed them on the first record. And then I heard the second record, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "This is just an album full of mosh parts."
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what
There's
it
a
is.
great new wave of thrash coming out.
Yep.
It's fantastic time.
Well,
that's my favorite like subgenre of metal.
Yeah,
so I'm like, thank God.
We're actually like super thrash fans, so yeah, we'll do like the Power Trip, and then
Oh, so you're like totally feeling Power Trip,
absolutely
scratching the itch, right?
Everything good
Warbringer,
that I
the new
grew up on
Warbringer
about
record.
Warbringers is
Toxic Holocaust.
Dust Bolt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
these-
Bonded by Blood.
Do you guys
there's so
listen
many
to
good ones.
Baptists?
No.
Oh, you should give them a listen. It's like the drummer from
I'm not even writing this
Sumac,
down.
but like they are really fucking good. Baptists.
I'm on that.
Yeah.
Spotify.
Plural.
Yeah. What about the new Havoc record? Did you finish with it yet? It's a little different.
I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to new Municipal Waste. I got to get on that. But,
I was feeling the new Iron Reagan more than the new
Iron
Municipal.
Reagan. I love that. That's a sub. That's one of the guys from
Singer,
Municipals,
right?
right?
Singer.
Yeah.
Singer, yep.
But I have so many bands that have come out. Like it seems like every week there's another one coming out on that revival. I love it because it
Black
combines
Fast
everything.
was another one.
Black Fast is killer.
Yeah.
Bone Hunter's another really killer one I heard.
I like
But
that name. I never heard of them.
They're like kind of like more like possessed, like really.
Is that the guy with
borderline
the looks for the moms?
the what's that?
The
bone.
Oh.
The MILF.
Do you listen to a Gate Creeper?
No, but I saw they just
They are
I
good.
checked them out. They're good.
Yeah, they are so good.
yeah they just did a show on Long Island. I
Yep.
think not too long ago.
With him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, with you guys.
Yeah.
Carcosa.
Yeah. Played that Carcosa show.
Oh, it's Shakers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we played with them in Sound and Fury the following week.
Yeah.
They Closed Casket put out their recent vinyl.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm gonna shout out my friend's band because I think it's their
Extinction AD.
Well, Extinction, yes, obviously we all know Extinction AD.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But my friend's band, they used to be called What Doesn't Kill Me, or what? Yeah. So now they're called Agony Kings, and just like when I heard Incendiary, they were like one of those bands that normally, I guess I'm not like I don't listen to as many of those bands, which I guess I should. But like watching them live, I'm just like, oh shit, man!
Yeah.
whatever this is, I'm with. So.
Yeah.
And luckily, he just happens to be my friend. So anytime they play, I'm like, I can't wait to see you guys. So
Absolutely.
Agony Kings. So,
Gonna get on that too.
but all right. So, what do you think? Like, you guys just put out a record. Like, so what's the rest of the year for like Incendiary? Like, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, we're doing. We have a show on
Oh, you
at,
said
at
Japan.
Rev. Yeah, we're going to Japan in September.
That's awesome.
For a week. That's gonna be
Have you ever been?
no, never. So this
Yeah.
is gonna be like
Domo Orogato.
Mr. Roboto.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Mr. Spacco.
Do you have like sales figures from there? That you know, or like
Oh
tickets
no,
advance?
not yet.
Do you know what you're looking at? Like
That's
over there?
that's like it's a good question. Yeah.
How does that?
No idea.
So how do you get a tour out there? Like, is it just because you guys are moving shit out there?
Well, like basically the way I from what I believe the way it works with Japan is that you need to have like a release to tour on. So we kind of missed the boat when Cost of Living came out to go there because it's got to be like kind of new.
Right.
But with this one, because like we've been in talks with people, this guy from band out there, Loyal to the Grave, they've played here a bunch. He's the one who's bringing us over. So we've been in talks with him for a while about coming there, and like this year was like finally the time
Awesome.
that it like worked for both of us, for us to go over there. So it's just like again, like
And how many shows you playing there?
I think we're playing 5 shows.
Great.
Yeah, and like the centerpiece of it is Blood Axe Fest, which is like a big like heavy metal hardcore festival that happens there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you know who else is gonna play? Like maybe Anvil.
No. Oh, I remember the name of the band. After the Burial is playing, which I'm
Okay.
totally stoked on.
Great.
Love that band. And then First Blood is headlining. And then there's a bunch of Japanese and I believe South Korean hardcore bands that are playing.
So sick.
Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
very
gonna
cool.
be
If
it's gonna
rock
be
bios
really cool.
have taught me anything, when you go there, you're gonna
It's going to be huge.
girls are gonna like come around the van. You're not gonna be able to move the van. They're gonna
gonna be
draw
like the
pictures.
Beatles.
They're gonna give you gifts and shit. Not everybody that goes over there.
I hear the
happens
Kit
to.
Kat game there is like absolutely crazy, so I'm trying to like fuck around with some crazy candy. And
I thought
Kit
the
Kat.
Kit Kat was
I was like,
like
is this
2
a-
fingers in the ass.
Whoa.
I know. I'm like trying to think what sexual deviant thing does.
no, they
Kit
got
Kat
like
mean?
green tea, red bean Kit Kats. They got like all these like crazy ass flavors of Kit Kats over there. So I'm trying to
shit.
fuck around with that. I'm trying to go to like a temple for like a minute and just like chill out in silence.
You are in a hardcore band.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like listen to
Good
108
part.
at a
Nice.
shrine somewhere, do a head
Little
rip,
Rob
rip,
Fish.
rip a
You
headstand.
put on your favorite Shelter record. and
Yeah.
walk up.
I think me and Langan are stuck on the Dirt book. That's what we're trying.
I know.
We're trying to impose
Mine's
our
in the
vision.
gutter.
I gotcha.
Oh, you're gonna do the Kit Kat thing, right? Oh, I heard about that, son.
All right, cool. Before Dan came in, I asked him to. Oh, you got polars?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, let me get one of them polars.
Bart that Polis,
Yeah.
son. Pass.
I was going to double fist, but have at it, bro.
Pulls and
Crack
pass,
open a
son.
cold one with
You
the
know?
boys.
I had to use the Vestron video koozie for something.
I love
You
it.
know?
Polar seltzers.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Polar, big
Yeah.
Polar fan.
No
You know what I'm
coconut though, huh?
No.
I'm about.
You know what?
too.
I
That,
gotta
that
go.
was him, yeah.
That was me
And then
because-
Randy had to get
It's
it.
fucking delicious.
Is
It's
it? Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Is a Hispanic dude, like the coconuts, just like it's just in my DNA.
Yeah.
Like I fuck with coconuts so hard.
Uh-huh.
And that
You know?
toasted coconut Polar is so good.
Yeah, I fuck with toasted coconut.
What about air
donuts,
fresheners in your car?
Coconut
Fuck
Wow.
yeah, keep it real.
conditioner is coconut.
Nice.
Me too, son. Boom,
Nice.
right there.
Nice.
If I was on Gilligan's Island,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I wouldn't even mind.
Yeah, what would you
Uh,
make a
fuck.
phone out of if you were on Gilligan's?
Well,
Island?
The
that's-
professor's got to be there too.
if I was on Gilligan's Island and I had Spotify and coconuts,
That's it.
you know, like I don't know, that's it. Aside from
Wow.
like getting sunburn on my dick, I'd be,
Well, you could keep your pants on.
You could put, or you
Yeah.
could just put a,
I mean, nobody
put a
said-
coconut
you
over
would
it.
have pants.
Yeah.
Ginger and Marianne would be
Right.
like, Sam,
Put a coconut on
could you
that some
please
bitch.
But you have pants. You
Yeah.
can put them on.
now
pervert.
we're just talking like
Yeah.
now we're
Now we're
just
just-
talking
Now we're just getting crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're just talking reckless.
Bring it
Let's,
down
Let's
to
reel
earth.
it in. Let's reel it in.
let's focus.
Back it up.
It's always obnoxious when 4 people yell.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So before Dan came in, I asked him to just give me like a list of his favorite movies, just for shits and giggles. Since our top 5 is going to be very music based, and obviously he's in a band, so we're talking a lot of music. I really want to get into some movies. Plus, you said you went to
Yeah, I went to school for this.
film school.
Not film school. I went to Stony Brook for it was comparative literature with a focus on film.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Let's get to the list.
Fuck it, who gives a shit?
I heard literature, which is
That's all that reading shit.
not very movie-like.
I mean, everything's Shakespeare, you know. Anyway,
Horatio. Speaking of Shakespeare, the only time I think of Shakespeare is when I think of Tales from the Crypt, and they had that fucking. Oh no, that's Hamlet. He wrote Shakespeare though, right?
no, Shakespeare wrote Hamlet.
Damn.
Come on,
Whatever.
son.
Listen,
Shakespeare's Sister by the Smiths, maybe. I was gonna say I saw he had it at the ready. I was like, I love it.
I'm ignorant as fuck. I just told you I sold drugs for a very long time. So, so let's hear. How'd you break down like a top 5 favorite movies?
Well, I just made a huge fucking list. So I'm just gonna tell you 5 movies that I probably like above all others.
Yeah, let's.
And
hear
then,
it.
and then we could just be tangential.
Is this
about
in any
stuff if we need
particular
to.
order? This 5, just so we know.
No, this one is not.
No, because
Okay.
as soon as you read that, I'm going to read the top 10 shitty movies that somebody picked on some website. So
Very contentious list.
It's made us all very angry.
very
contentious.
angry. So
It's
hopefully
a hot
this,
button topic.
number 5,
I'm
Garbage
heated.
Pail Kids. Right?
Nice.
I would.
All right. So then this is no particular order, obviously. Okay, so one of these top 5, Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Great movie.
For many, many reasons. This was like the emergence of CGI as a player in American cinema, as like a big deal,
Definitely.
as something that was going to be like the crown jewel. And fucking James Cameron knocks it out of this park. He's like been like always been an innovator, and like he brought his fucking A game in T2. Because like I'm not sure if T2 came out before or after Jurassic Park.
Before. It was
Before.
1991.
Okay, so this was kind of like the first time like CGI and like practical effects were blended, because there was like still like the rubber dummy of the T-1000 getting shot.
Right.
You know, there was, you know, like Arnold had like the fucking prosthetics on him. Like the motorcycle chase scene in the LA River, that's a real dude on a motorcycle and a real motherfucker in a fucking semi chasing him. You know, it wasn't green screen, like, so it was like this perfect blending of special effects and practical effects that was like, you don't see that anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
And it was like once. I remember being like a kid. It must have been 12 or 13, and like when that thing, when he gets shot in the head, the T-1000.
Oh, and he just rears back and it's like, look,
Yeah.
he's got the whole
Badass.
brutal. Or my favorite when Arnold's got the fucking box of roses with the shotgun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's
So
walking
great.
down
Because
that utility
Yep.
hallway in the mall, and he goes, "Get down."
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
just pulls his shotgun out, and I just remember like seeing like the Guns N' Roses video for "You Could Be Mine,"
Could Be
and I'm just
Mine.
like, ah! And I'm like 9, and I want to flip a table because I'm so pumped because that song kicks so much
Yep.
ass, and
Fuck
he's
yeah.
just like the shotgun spin, pow, just blowing the fuck out of the T-1000. Throws him up against the wall, and he lands with his face, and he just turns around like, I was, holy shit.
I'm trying to find the picture that my friend sent me just recently of Danny Cooksey in that movie randomly.
Danny.
And you know,
Is that Budnick?
Yeah.
yeah. So
Singer of Bad for Good,
Bad
man.
for Good
Yeah.
with fucking Brooks
Brooks
Wackerman.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
He's on different strokes.
Produced
Yeah.
produced by Steve Vai, right?
Who wrote all the music? Yep.
Goddamn.
Yep.
the audience, I was getting there.
Yep.
I wish I had the picture because it's a picture of Danny Cooksey and it says Megadeth right above.
Oh,
it.
I
Yes,
saw that. Yep.
Oh God, that
Yep.
is great.
Yep.
And I was like, Randall posted it to me. and I
Your
was
foster
like,
parents are dead.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
There's so many quotable lines.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor went from like scared pussy to I'm gonna beat the shit
Yep.
out of you in
Yeah.
this movie.
Very strong
Like
female
T-1000,
lead. Yeah.
so fucking scary because it's like half monster, half cyborg. You know, so it's just like
Great
this,
hair.
This
Yeah.
ominous thing just
Singer of
chasing
Filter's
you
brother.
relentlessly.
You know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Fun fact.
Come
like
on.
know that.
like
Little Dan
Yeah.
Tur plug right there for Filter.
Dan Tur even likes the shitty filter record.
Yeah.
my God.
No one likes that record.
Facts. Yep.
My friend was in Filter. I don't think he liked that. Right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But also, for me, Terminator 2 has a prestigious honor of having probably the hardest scene in any action movie. It's when Arnold's driving the fucking pickup truck, T-1000, in the truck behind him, the 18-wheeler. They're heading towards the liquid steel factory. And Arnold says, drive. and he hops in the back, climbs on the hood of the 18-wheeler, holds onto the roof, dumps the clip of the M4 right through the windshield into the T1000 driving, who gets lit the fuck up, punches through the windshield and jerks the wheel, intentionally crashing the 18-wheeler hard as a fucking coffin nail.
Yep.
I shit you not.
You were selling this movie. I want to watch it right now. I love your enthusiasm. You got me all amped, bro.
It's
T-section right there, baby.
It is. We're going to watch it after. We're going to move the drum set out of the way.
Just the menu.
Inside
joke.
Joe's going to make more wings.
Nice. Joe's like, I'll do it.
But yeah,
I think that movie for me is right up there. That and Aliens.
Yeah. Oh.
It is fucking one of the best.
Action-packed.
It's better than the original. And the original was great.
Yep.
A rare case where the sequel blows the original out of the
Aliens.
water.
Aliens too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, the emergence of the CGI put it in that, because so much. How much time was between those two films?
I think it was like
T2 and Jurassic Park.
T1 and T2.
Oh, between T1 and T2. Yeah, because they were still using Ray Harryhausen effects with the T900.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm not shitting on it, but they were still using like Jason versus the Argonauts, special effects for the T900 exoskeleton
Clash
in
of
the
the Titans.
Shout out to Clash of the Titans.
Shout out to Harry Hamlin.
C-section.
Yeah. In Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, they had the fucking T1000.
Yeah.
And you show me two people who didn't shit their pants when they saw that shit happen.
Yeah.
My favorite T1000 moment is when he walks through the bars in the jail.
Gets caught.
And he gets caught. It's like,
yeah.
And he just turns.
Yeah.
Or like the fucking hands in the elevator.
Fuck
He opens
yeah.
his like, shit on
Shotgun
me. God damn.
and split.
That was
Sarah Connor
badass.
at the end, after he pokes her through the shoulder, call to him.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like cocking the shotgun one-handed and blowing his ass away. That is fucking also a really hard scene in that movie. You know,
it's
the movie's just like it's
one of the best
perfect.
movies ever.
It's
hands
so
down.
good.
What you say about the emergence of the CGI too, and you're totally right. I
Yeah.
didn't think about it that way as far as the first, and also the emergence of Edward Furlong. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I love
Shout
it
out
so
Eddie
much.
Furlong.
The last time he looked,
Pecker was better though.
Pecker was
He was better. He was better
Aaron
than Pecker. Not that movie. Not the movie.
But
looks.
I mean, like, and then just think of where CGI went. There would be no like Armageddon. You know,
Oh,
there
yeah,
would-
yeah.
like all like. And then, again, Cameron reinventing the wheel with fucking, what was that shit with the blue cats doing Dances with Wolves? Avatar, yeah. You know,
Blue cats.
Yeah.
like that, he steps it up a notch.
Yeah.
You
No
know?
question.
So, like,
no question.
the whole CGI as, like, the crown jewel of a movie kind of, like, was kickstarted by T2. Right?
Did you ever pick up on who the mother was, the step parents? Did you ever realize who that was?
No.
Vasquez from Aliens.
Oh, shit.
No.
Wow.
No.
Didn't recognize her without the body armor.
Yeah.
dropping jewels, man.
That's
Dropping
it.
jewels.
You know?
All right.
You know that all the obscure
All
facts.
pointless
It's
fucking
awesome.
information. Pointless fucking information.
But as someone who
Take that, Google.
that's my only life skill. So when you
Nah.
lay it on me,
I
like
took
that,
math
I'm
1
impressed.
3 times in high school, but I could fucking,
Listen, that shit impresses me if it's worth anything. Okay.
And Shania Twain had that fucking song, and don't impress me much, but impresses you, and that's all that matters.
In T2.
Yes.
Respect.
For real? What the fuck? For real?
All right.
Shout out
Next.
to Mutt Lang.
Second movie on this list.
Yes. I could
All right,
talk about
so-
Shania all day. Move along.
I could talk a mile about Shania. All right. So this movie I saw on a whim on like a weekday afternoon when I was visiting my friend in England while he was studying abroad.
This guy's flossing on
And
us.
he's like,
For real.
my girlfriend, who he was dating some girl from
He just
Ireland
visits
at the
people
time.
in
I
London.
I flew out myself to Ireland for like 2 weeks to visit my friend George while I was
awesome.
out there. It was sick. You just go on a vacation by yourself sometimes. That shit
Very
is
cool.
mad tight.
Damn.
So we took a flight over to London. We were staying in hostels and walk around, and it was like we had nothing to do. And it's like, oh, this movie is starting at 1. It's like 12:45. We should get tickets and check this shit out. And it's like, all right. And he's like, yeah, my girl said it was good. That movie was City of God, which was a Brazilian gangster movie. Which
That movie
Never
was
saw it.
so good.
oh
man.
my god, like it is. I remember seeing it and just feeling a feeling like in my chest just the whole time, just like this like weird tension, but there was like funny parts, And like you just go on this emotional ride this whole movie as you see this story unfold about a real place where this actually fucking happens. And the characters in the movie are modeled after people who actually lived through this like brutal war between drug dealers and police in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro.
You really get to know these guys. Like you feel invested.
From children to adults. And like the story with the apartment, how it got passed from that one woman to eventually Lil Zay. Like everything in the movie just grabs a hold of you. It feels like you're watching the movie for 2 days.
Great.
It's like it's just such an intense, powerful movie, and it's just like the life expectancy of someone wasn't past the age of 20. And you see it play out, and it's just like it's such a great story. And like I just remember like it hitting me so hard, like, and I tried to show it to as many people as I could when I came back.
It's fantastic, man. I just watched it randomly, like maybe like a few years after it came out, and I was just like, my jaw dropped. I'm like,
it's a perfect film. It really is.
You get very invested, and you root for the kid.
And like visually, the way it's put together, it's like a visual narrative plus like a narrator narrative. Like there's so much. There's like the movie is just so dense with everything going on. Like it's just like you can't watch it every day, but you don't need to. You know what I mean?
And the people that have seen it like speak of it so much, and not a lot of people have seen it, but the people
I've never met anyone that's seen it and
didn't like it.
Didn't like
ever.
It. Yep.
So
no one was just like, oh, City God, oh, that was all right. Yeah.
It's okay.
It was okay.
I'll take it or leave it.
I know. I got like halfway through, got bored, turn it off.
I might pick it up later.
I think I tweeted about that.
I could be wrong, but I think Netflix right now has a follow-up of like. Of the
yeah.
Does it have something to do with the film?
I think it's like another. It's like a sequel to it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of like a thing. Like it doesn't really matter to me if a sequel came out. Like I'm not interested in like deviating from just the one movie narrative.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I don't care about. Like almost like Train Spotting 2 is one of those coming up.
Yeah. Anchorman 2. I don't give a fuck.
Salt Lake City SLC Punk 2.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The first one was what it is. It was so good. We don't need another one.
Also what factors in is that so many years have passed.
That's
maybe if it was like right after or a few years after,
then it would make sense.
Then you're gonna do something 15 years later, or like Train Spotting was like you were talking like a 20-year gap.
Let me throw you for a loop though. How about a heavy metal parking lot too? Wouldn't you be curious to see where Zebra Man is right now?
Unfortunately, I know where Zebra Man is.
He's passed. Don't tell me he's passed.
No. I know where Zebra Man is.
Where is he?
With the
Sheldon?
He's at Amazing Skates right now. He actually fucking sucks. Amazing Skates. He actually sucks. He grew up to be kind of like a douche, like kind of like somebody that's just. He probably doesn't even listen to metal anymore. Yeah, Zebra Man was the man.
What a poser!
I know.
That's what the show. We shift from City of God to Zebra Man in 0 to 5.
Fuck this Madonna shit. Fuck this pop
Goes
shit.
to Mars, man.
So.
I doesn't even like Priest anymore. But anyway, yes. But back to your selection.
All right,
I totally agree with you. That movie's fantastic.
Third movie on the list. I must have seen this movie at least 100 times, if not 150 times. There was a year where I watched it every day with my brother.
Wow.
Over the summer. In that one summer, we watched it consecutively for about 60 to 75 nights. I could pretty much recite the script of this movie from memory, starting from the very beginning. Again, it's another very quotable movie. It's a comedy movie. It is one of the few successful Saturday Night Live movies. It's a little film called Wayne's World.
Okay.
And if you can't get down with Wayne's World, you dumb as hell.
Yeah.
It is funny on so many levels. It's early Mike Myers, pre Austin Powers. So and like the comedy chemistry of him and Dana Carvey was still alive and well from the Saturday Night Live years. Again, it's a Saturday Night Live movie, one of the only ones that did well.
I think
is actually funny.
The only one.
The only one.
Is there another Saturday Night Live movie?
Yeah, there is.
Blues Brothers.
There's a couple. Blues Brothers.
You know?
That's a 50-50 thing because I think they were doing Blues Brothers pre Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But I do believe that Blues Brothers was a good one. There was another one, but
Ain't fucking it's Pat. I'll tell you that right now.
And it's not
Coneheads?
not Ladies Man. Coneheads was a legit movie. I don't think it
Night
did
at the
as
Roxbury.
Well. Night at the Lark.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
But
Mille Walk.
Does this guy
good
know how to
land.
party or what? I told you I got the whole script memorized. But like
Penelope Spears. did
Penelope
that, right?
Spears,
Yeah.
yep. Decline of Western Civilization.
Yep.
Same lady. I went to go see it in theaters when they did the re-release for the 25th anniversay with my brother, which was
Nice.
pretty
That's cool.
touching moment.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just like again, it's like one of those movies that I enjoy every single time that it's on, and if it's on, you're not turning it off.
Yeah.
Nah.
And I haven't heard anyone that doesn't like the first Wayne's World.
It's
I even like the second one.
Me too.
I was going to ask you how you feel about the
Love the
sequel.
second one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the only drum fill that I know. You know, that Bohemian
The
Rhapsody. That's
Yep.
it.
That car scene, really, I mean, in the history of comedic films, is one of the most
It's
iconic
huge.
scenes
It's huge. Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
His history.
The spike in popularity that Bohemian Rhapsody
Oh.
got
Oh,
after that
yeah.
movie came out
Me.
was insane.
I definitely had
Insane.
that soundtrack too for that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For
One
sure.
of my favorite parts is the when he's in the guitar shop with the Stairway to Heaven song.
No stairway denied. Yeah, there's like so many. There's so many great parts of that movie. Like the part when the plane's flying overhead, and he says, "Did you find Bugs Bunny attractive when he would dress up and play a girl bunny?"
Yeah.
And Mike Myers says no and laughs
Oh, yeah.
so hard,
Yep.
and then he says no again.
Yep.
That laugh was a genuine laugh.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure that
like,
wasn't
but they
scripted.
kept it. They kept it in
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
said no and started laughing, and then he
Yep.
stopped laughing and said no because he thought they were going to cut around it.
Yeah.
But like that's a genuine like Dana Carvey just came out with that at a left field.
Yeah.
And he like Mike Myers lost it, and that was like the openness that was attributed to this movie. I think it's like it's as far as comedies go, it's very very good.
Chris Farley was great, too, in that little role.
Yeah,
yeah,
like a little
yeah.
bit part.
Yeah,
There were so
yeah,
many people with
yeah.
good little bit parts.
I still love the if you're gonna spew
Spew
in this
into
and
this?
the fucking cup is like tiny.
tiny
know.
the
Also-
counting down from
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
You didn't say 2 or 1.
Yeah.
You just don't. Okay.
Also, the Dixie Cup, like you said,
Yeah.
the only time I've ever seen that was Mallrats. It's like, can you fill this up? No
Oh,
ice.
that's true. Yeah.
Coke, no ice.
Yep. Which is another fucking great movie.
Oh,
That's-
for sure.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
Clerks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Doesn't really hold up well for me when I
Clerks or
rewatched it.
Mallrats?
Mallrats when I rewatched it.
Yeah.
I still think Trish the Dish is hot though.
There you go.
The Jay and Silent Bob parts, I think I could just edit around that because Jay was really funny then.
No.
But yeah, Wayne's World definitely. And like I said, there was a point where I like I said, I could recite the script from the movie from memory. So it's like it's just one of those always good ones.
I like it.
Number
Yeah.
4.
Yep.
Man, serious about his list.
Y'all
Like
ready
it.
for
Real.
this?
I
Yeah.
like how he sells it first before he drops the title
Yeah.
because I
Right.
get very excited.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
awesome.
like ready to go to eBay to buy it on DVD just from
That's it, man.
Come on.
Sell the sizzle, not the steak. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So there's 2 movies that I have in my 4th spot because I feel that they both require the same amount of respect. First one, in keeping with the Terminator 2 like special effects whatever kind of vibe. This one in the late 90s, early 2000s also brought a lot of special effects gusto and kind of marked the resurgence of a certain actor named Keanu Reeves. That movie is The Matrix. I remember I saw that in theaters twice. I went like twice in the same week just because I was like so stoked when it came out. Like the bullet time, the dodging the bullets, like the whole karate scene. Like there's so much to The Matrix that is just unreal sick and just gets you stoked. Like when Trinity does like the hang in the air, like the and just like and then the camera turns and then she kicks the dude through the wall. God damn, the lobby scene. When they put the fucking the bags with all the guns on the things, and he pulls open his jacket, and the cop goes, "Holy shit!" It's like, and he just like does that palm strike and sends him flying, and then he's just like cross-armed with the M5. It's like, grah, grah, grah. It's like, it's so.
it was
sick.
like one of the first times that I saw stuff like that.
yeah. You
know,
didn't see
where
that before.
It was like visually they did stuff that made me, and I saw it around the same time that I saw the Phantom Menace. I didn't even remember the Phantom Menace after watching the Matrix.
Matrix.
I was like,
It's like they
Star
took
Wars 2.
they took
Yeah.
stuff that John Woo was doing
Yes.
with like the
Yeah,
killer and stuff like that, and then just like slammed a bunch of slammed it through a computer and Americanized it, and it was like it was like so sick, and like the whole like wake up, like you've been asleep the whole time. Like a line that I recite from that all the time when Neo first gets unplugged is like, my eyes hurt. And then Morpheus goes, it's because you've never used them before. And it's just like the literal sense, yes, his eyes have never been opened because he's just been in that like human charging pod his whole life. So he's never actually used his eyes. So he's getting acclimated to using an organ that he's never used before. But at the same time, the metaphoric sense, you know, like my eyes hurt, you've never opened them before. You haven't been awake before. You've been asleep in the Matrix your whole life. And this is the first time you're actually awake. And that's why it hurts. You know, so it's like the emotional pain of like, man, the sky is scorched, robots have taken over, life sucks, but we're fighting to live. You know, like it hurts because eyes never been open before, but also in the literal sense, his eyes hurt because they've never been open before.
Wow. Damn.
So
shout out to Larry
Power of
Fishburne.
positivity, man.
Shout out to Larry Fishburne for letting everyone use his face for a meme.
Yep. Yeah, for real. And that speech that Agent Smith gives to Morpheus when he's interrogating him. The human race is a disease. I smell it.
He was great.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
Talk about
Hugo
a guy
Weaving.
who fucking killed
Great
it.
name.
I'm Googling that name because I'm sure you made that up.
No, that's that dude, man.
Hugo
Agent
Weaving?
Smith, Hugo Weaving. He was in Lord of the Rings and The Matrix, two of the biggest threequels in the
That
fucking
was the
2000s.
name of my first pop punk band.
Hugo
Hugo
Weaving.
Weaving. Nice.
Or threequel. We're a thrice cover band called Threequel.
There you go.
Shout out to Thrice for putting
Shout
out a
out
good
to
record
Thrice.
last year.
Artist in
Yeah.
the Ambulance. Anyway, so Hugo Weaving in two of the biggest like 3-part series of the 2000s. Lord of the Rings, he's going to be making money off of that until he's dead and buried. And the fucking Matrix. You know, I mean, people try to forget about Matrix 2 and 3. I think they're pretty tight. I don't think they're that bad. But like the first Matrix, when he's talking to Morpheus, he's like, the human race is a virus. I have to get out of here. I can't stand this. It's true. The human race is a virus. You know, like we just occupy territory and multiply until we destroy all the resources of the area and then just move on to the next. And we don't want to get rid of ourselves because we're all so fucking important. But like human race is a fucking virus.
All
You
right,
know?
so if you hear what he's saying kill yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Red River
Atari
Podcast.
Teenage Riot.
Out.
Right. Atari
Could be our
Teenage
new
Riot.
sign
Now
off.
I really know how old you are.
That could be the new sign off.
Yo, Amazing Skates.
Amazing Skates. Yo, shout out Fuddruckers because they don't punch your ticket.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah.
Man.
They don't punch your ticket so you can keep
Yo.
going back and getting cookies all night long.
Shout out to everything in that corner in Selden that every business
Shout out
dies.
Independence Plaza. I used to play Ultimate Frisbee in Bob's parking lot every Monday for like 6 years.
Shout out to anyone who worked at Blockbuster there too.
Shout out to anyone at Blockbuster. I stole Death Race 2000 with David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone
D section
from,
right there.
from Blockbuster because I wanted to buy it from him. And I was like, yo, lady, how much can I buy this for? And like, well, we don't really sell the DVDs. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, but if you rent it and don't bring it back, I have to just charge you $15. So she was like low key telling me like,
shit.
just take it and
Shout
don't
out
bring
to
it back.
her.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the lady at Blockbuster who helped me
Nice.
steal/buy Death Race 2000.
Yo,
with David
she's
Carradine.
ride or die.
That's
She
it.
definitely-
Yo, not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear a Blockbuster shirt.
she would bake you a cake with a file in it.
She does, real.
Yeah.
Definitely would.
Yeah.
She'd spring you out the joint, you know?
So,
Yeah, she hold the toaster after, John Q was after your ass, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's she
All right.
might hold a shank for you.
Seriously. All right. So the other one in my fourth favorite movie.
I think I know where you're gonna go, and if you get it right,
Well, did you see my book? Because I wrote it.
Nah,
All right.
I can barely see who's sitting next to me.
I also write like an epileptic doctor, so you might not be able to read
Your
my book.
eyes have never been opened. son.
All right. So if I said The Matrix, what else is on par?
I thought you were gonna say Scout. No, not Scout's Guide. That's a great movie too, though. Scott Pilgrim.
Oh. No, I like that movie,
Yeah.
but it didn't. It wasn't like you didn't just like grab me by the balls. Like, oh, this is a pretty chill movie. It's like a video game. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny, but like I never really like put it up there. You know what I mean?
Ah, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
It has to grab him by the balls.
it's got to
Yeah.
grab me by the goddamn balls.
By the
And this-
Jenny, you
and
know?
thi- and
right
this
by the
mo-
Jenny.
This movie grabbed my genitalia so hard for 2 episodes of this movie, but technically they're considered one film.
Oh, I think I know where we're going then.
It's by a very oh man, what's the word? A celebrated director for his auteur style. And I think it basically it checked off every box that I had for an action movie for me growing up personally. Everything about it was executed flawlessly. And I saw this movie in a movie theater in
Shout out to Uma Thurman's feet.
goddamn right, get those piggies
there you go.
wiggling.
What country did you see this movie?
I saw it in a country called Hampstead. I went with my friend George and a couple of other people, and we went to the movie theater by Roosevelt Field, and I saw it like kind of in the hood. And like there is no other place to see a kung fu movie than the hood. I'm sorry, do it at least once because you will be high-fiving and giving pounds and hugs to everyone around you like it's a church meeting. And the movie is Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2.
Nice.
And if you don't fuck with this movie, fucking delete me on social media
That's
right
it.
now.
Oh
Because
shit!
this movie,
Shots fired.
Like
till it
everything
uploads.
about this movie is amazing. From the like that is so fucking sick, and like the Shaw Brothers intro, like like the classic samurai revenge story,
The pussy wagon.
oh my god, like this is me at my most masochistic, and like blowing her fucking brains, like everything about it, like with the chapters and the music. And like the freaking 1-inch punch.
Yes.
Tell me you didn't do that shit after seeing that. Just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking 1-inch punch all fucking day. You know?
Absolutely.
You're doing it against your steering wheel, you know, like
And just that fear of being buried.
yeah,
It's, like,
buried alive.
so,
You feel it. You
like,
feel it when you see it
really
in two.
feel it. You're
Yeah.
like
You know?
sitting there. She's going through the story.
Like the fight with her and what's it? What the hell
Daryl
is it?
Hannah.
No.
Lucy Liu.
No,
The girl with
black
the
one?
ball that.
No,
that
not
thing,
not
because I was all about that chick.
That
with
well,
with
the crazy
spinning thing.
88 fight was sick, but the like not Foxy Brown. What the hell was her name?
Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, Vivica
Yeah,
Fox. Yeah,
She
the
was the
fight with
first
her
one,
and
yeah.
Vivica Fox, so good because the cereal box says
Yes.
kablam, and she pulls a gun out and shoots her.
Yes.
That is fucking perfect.
Attention to detail.
You know,
Yep.
it's like dog got in here and acted a fool. You know, and they're covered in blood and broken glass, and daughter's like, I kind of get this. You know, like and like the knife fight and like just like the mutual respect between the fighters.
He's brilliant.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
that
Guy's
Kill Bill
brilliant.
1 and 2 was so perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And if you like look back, like every single, and it's funny that he did Hateful Eight, which was a western, because most spaghetti
Great movie.
most spaghetti western, actually like 90% of spaghetti westerns are based off of Akira Kurosawa movies, like samurai movies. Like Magnificent Seven is Seven Samurai. You know, A Fistful of Dollars, A Fistful of Yen. They're like they're exact ripoffs of one
What do
another.
you think of what? Because I'm pretty sure, like, there was a thing, The Thing influence on fucking Hateful Eight. I think he mentioned it.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's such
exactly.
it's like the paranoia as to like who is.
yeah, the accusatory paranoia kind of
Well,
thing.
he'll cherry pick a lot of elements from different style
Right.
films and roll them all into this Tarantino thing, like little things like the Daryl Hannah character. I know with the eye patch was based on Thriller. They call her One
Yep.
Eye.
Yep.
One of the greatest grindhouse flicks ever, hands
Also
down.
in Pulp Fiction, that Mia Wallace tells that story.
Oh, about
Yeah,
the
Fox Force
5.
All of them.
Yeah,
Correct,
and that
yeah.
and that's them.
That's
Yeah.
I
And
And it's
love
like
great.
that.
I
my
love
ass
that
should have been called Black
universe, man.
Mamba. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's like so many good parts. And the part with like Pai Mei when she's training and he like stands on her sword, which is a definite call out to Crouching Tiger, which like is an honorable mention on this list. I remember seeing Crouching Tiger and like almost being brought to tears in the theater. It's like this is a fucking beautiful movie. This is a work of art that I'm seeing in front of me. You know, like one of Chow Yun Fat's like last period pieces. You know, like it was just like so excellently done. But like everything about Kill Bill like hit every single nerve. You know, the fight with the Crazy 88 where it goes black and white and she's like breakdancing and cutting off limbs
shit
and
was
blood
bomb, man.
everywhere. Like it's just like it's just so perfectly done. I couldn't
What do
get
you
past it.
think?
Great.
What do you think his worst movie was? Because I love them all. Or your least favorite?
Planet Terror. You know, like I love.
Well,
I
he didn't do that one.
I
though.
yeah, I mean
He
that was
did
like
Death
half and
Proof,
half.
technically,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. At a Grindhouse, Death Proof is much better than Planet Terror.
What?
Yeah, 100%.
You tripping?
100%.
Yeah.
Sam's over here caught the vapors.
I just feel
menopause or
That's
some
number
shit.
5. Holy shit!
Oh man. All right, so I guess we move on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Bill 1 and 2, mad tight. We'll leave everything else for another time.
Listen, you want to shit on Planet Terror? I mean, that's one of my favorite
Movie's
movies.
great.
Yeah.
And I mean, also to like coincide with, in this still kind of like, you know, like
Sorry, I asked.
karate ass movie, kind of like. Honorable mention goes to Riccio, Story of Ricky, and Legend of Drunken Master.
Okay. Nice.
Riccio, Story of Ricky, you might remember
I
from
love
when
that
Craig
movie.
Kilborn hosted The Daily Show and had the moment of Zen and had the guy crushing his head.
Yes.
So like
That show was great.
It is like, and I believe we're going to get to this eventually. The 50 best worst movies,
Yeah.
which is a total sham and bullshit. Fuck you, whoever wrote that.
We're gonna.
We might touch on
upon
that,
it,
but
yeah.
Dabble.
Riccio is one of those awesome bad movies
Yeah.
and was unceremoniously left off this list. There's a part because it takes place in a jail. Okay, and so there's all this like fighting going on, super gore, and then at the end, Riccio punches through the prison wall and says, "You're all free now." So all these extortionists, murderers, rapists, child pedophiles, tax evaders, abusers, people who didn't pay their child support, anyone who would be in jail for any reason, just goes free. Just goes free because what? Riccio said so. Oh yeah, because there's a couple bad guys and I beat them all, so now we could all go home. It's like, yeah, Riccio, you were fucking innocent, but there's like a guy over there who wore a kid's head as a hat.
You clearly haven't thought this through, Riccio.
Not even close. You know, so shout out to Riccio.
Guy sounds like he should have made like dance music. Was
No.
he like related to like Johnny-O or there was different
I
family?
remember the first time I saw it after the Daily Show.
Me
the whole
too,
thing.
me too.
And
I
when
bought
that
on
scene
VHS.
Happened, I
Yeah.
didn't know it was from that movie. So when it was happening, I was so excited. It's like when you hear like a sample in a movie from some song, like
Yup.
some Skinny Puppy song you liked
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Or-
me
or-
anyway.
or
And I'm
you-
like, oh shit, that's where that's from.
Or you realize the Funky Drummer by James Brown is everything, and you're like,
It's like every hip hop song.
I'll
ever
tell you
made, yeah.
this. Yes, you're right. Actually,
Yes.
when Cage. Was it Cage? No, it was Leak Brothers. It was Cage and Tame One. They had a song from the Suicide Club. I had no idea on this Leak Brothers record. Then I was watching the movie, and same thing. Like I'm like watching, I'm like, holy shit!
I know this.
Or when you realize the samples in the Pantera cover of The Badge on the Crow soundtrack is from Taxi Driver.
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, what about the
That
the
intro
first?
to-
Suck on this.
Yeah, yeah. What about the Tension record when it was
Yeah.
fucking Day of the Dead samples? I was like, oh,
The
these
intro
guys
to
get
Taxi
it, man.
Driver
I
is one
texted
of the
Joe.
best
You know?
things
Yeah.
to sample. It's a perfect
Ah.
entrance to that film. I love it.
I texted Joe today to get his list, but he's camping.
Is it?
All right, so and then the other one that I said, Legend of Drunken Master, not the OG Jackie Chan one, but like the '90s one.
Mhm.
Such a tight movie, so sick, so sick. New Jackie Chan movie coming out looks unreal good. I think Jackie Chan is the greatest action star of our age.
Do you like Operation Condor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Project A. I love Police
like that
Story.
fight.
I love Super Cop. I love Super Cop 2. I love Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Mr. Nice Guy is even good. I saw Mr. Nice Guy in theaters back in '94.
Did
I could
you-
talk all day about Jackie Chan.
Did you enjoy or watch our two favorite action movies of
I
all
was
time?
just
Bad Boys 2?
thinking about
The
that.
Raid and Raid 2.
Oh, yes. Raid. Oh, my God.
I still need to fucking see
They,
those.
they
The-
ruined
the-
action movies.
mo-
I
they
still
were-
need to see those.
That's
I
why
can't
when, like,
watch anything.
Like John Wick came out, and I'm like, that's cool.
It
No,
was
he-
good.
Hold on. You
but it
can't
ain't
shit
the
on
Raid.
John
I'm
Wick's
not shitting on
so
John Wick.
Sick.
I'm saying for the people who have never seen Raid and
No,
Raid
I feel
2,
you. I feel you.
It destroyed It even destroyed my childhood action movies. Like I just couldn't go back. That's
you
how
can't
much.
watch Ad for Justice anymore.
Great fucking movie.
Hard to kill.
Maybe the third mixing the action.
Missing
action.
in
Oh,
action. Ooh.
Radic.
Oh,
Del-
that's
Delta
a bad
Force
one.
2.
But besides
Hey,
that,
hey.
the Raid 1 and 2.
As a Colombian guy, I love Delta Force 2 because
Yeah.
it said the Colombian connection. I'm like, I'm
No,
in.
I still love all those films, but as far as modern action, and I mean, I watch a lot of action's not the genre at my top of the
neither.
list, opposed to like horror or documentaries, even. But when you hit me to go watch a Raid and Raid 2, and I was like, my jaw was just fucking on.
If
the
you
ground
haven't
from the
watched
second
the
it
like the
started.
'90s Legend of Drunken Master with Jackie
I saw
Chan
the original,
recently,
but I haven't. I'm gonna
Oh,
watch that though,
it
based on your
is-
recommendation.
There's he
Yeah.
fights a dude under a train car, and the guy has a spear, and he's like parrying with his foot underneath a train.
His
with a
moves
spear.
are brilliant.
It's
no
so
question.
crazy. Like Rumble in the Bronx was so sick.
Yeah.
But like
I love
Legend
the
of
movie
Drunken
except the
Master is so
background.
sick.
I'm like, what the fuck did they shoot this shit?
New Zealand.
It was
He shoots most of
Vancouver, I
his-
thought.
Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm like,
all
they
right.
can't make Vancouver look like the fucking Bronx.
Eh.
Get the fuck out of
6
here.
1 half dozen the other. Who cares? Who's
You're
keeping
right.
score? You
You're
know.
right.
Yeah, but
Um,
as like his action scenes, I mean,
Oh.
he's an artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like and inspired by like Buster Keaton, which is
Yeah.
so crazy,
Yes.
so crazy.
Yep.
I mean, Jackie Chan, like I said, the greatest action star of our time.
Yep.
Okay, so fifth movie. Okay, so this one is a third in a movie franchise. I don't really consider the fourth part of it. Just the first three are great.
Missing in action.
Nice.
Close.
Okay.
The first one was amazing. The second one, a lot of people shit on. I have a special place in my heart for it because I watched it a lot when I was younger. But for me, the third one is a much better installment, a lot more going on, a much better story, very quotable. That movie is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Wow.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's a great action movie. You know, like I don't think there's a single boring part in it. It's got this like really good feel throughout the whole thing where you're kind of like immersed in what's going on, and everything has that reddish brown like clay copper kind of like tone to it. You know, Sean Connery is amazing in this movie.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Indiana Jones father.
Yep.
You know, the storyline is great from the beginning to the end, and I just don't really think it misses a note. A lot of people shit on Temple of Doom. Personally, I love Temple of Doom.
Great movie.
Fuck
Rip
shit.
somebody's
A
heart
lot,
out.
a lot of people
Motherfucker.
shit on Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying.
It's because of the kid.
Yeah,
Annoys
because
the
of the
fuck
kid.
out of
Fucking
me.
short
and
round, man.
Yeah.
I wrote
He's going to
a
be at
song-
Monster Mania, yo. Get your autograph book ready.
I'm good, man.
That's not the same kid from Goonies, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, funny story. When I was younger, I had Temple of Doom and Goonies on the same VHS tape because
Nice.
they came on back to back from HBO. And my grandpa taped them for me, and because he knew I liked Goonies, but he kept the tape rolling. And Temple of Doom was right after Goonies. So
you
like,
got to go to Monster Mania and tell
Yeah,
him that
man.
story.
Let's
and be
do
like,
it.
yeah, okay,
It'll only cost you
30
$20.
bucks.
Yeah,
I'll
fuck it
fucking
over.
sign it.
Yeah.
Next.
Do you want to give any honorables, some shine?
so many honorable mentions. All right, I'll just run down real quick. I won't talk at length. American History X. Saw that in theaters. Talk about a powerful movie that
Brilliant.
punches you in the chest. That movie is great.
No question.
Hero, Jet Li, one of his last period pieces before Fearless, which was another great Jet Li movie. But Hero, so good. And then like with the reveal, like I was trained to get 10 steps away from you so I could kill you and all the fucking arrows. Tight fucking Jet Li movie. Movie Akira. As far as anime goes, I feel like that's what brought it to the forefront in America, where it was kind of like a subculture thing, and this kind of like
That was
made
the
people
first one I
notice,
ever saw.
right? Kind of
Yeah.
like paved the way for like Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, like all those I forget what that guy's name is, but all of his films that came out after that, Spirited Away, etc. 12 Monkeys.
Oof, good one.
That is
Terry
Terry
Gilliam.
Gilliam.
Yep.
Baron Munchausen. Another
Yo,
one of my favorite
nice.
movies.
Brazil.
Real type movie.
Yeah.
Brazil. Like Terry Gilliam is like this really auteur style director,
Yep.
and I think 12 Monkeys it's like right up there with Baron Munchausen as far as like craziness. Because then it's just like, well, if he killed him in the airport, why did he go back in time?
Yeah.
You know, like you can't understand time travel because shit changes in the past, which means the future never happened, and it's crazy. So that's 12 Monkeys.
Shout out to Time Bandits, too.
Oh,
Yo,
great
you know what I was
movie.
going to watch
What?
2 days ago? Time Bandits.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love that movie.
Shit.
All
section.
about that
Yeah.
movie.
And I know you guys like Ice Pirates. Big fan of
I
Ice
just
Pirates.
watched that shit
Goddamn
last
right.
weekend, yo.
Space herpes.
Yeah,
Goddamn
so
right.
good. So good.
It's in the eye section.
Shout out to Dumb and Dumber. That movie will always be hysterical.
Always.
Always be hysterical.
Shout out to
Harry,
Karen Duffy, still
Yo,
being hot.
Beat me
Yep.
to it.
So
yeah.
hot. Blank check, man.
Harry, your hands are freezing. He's the low-key best joke in that movie because it's just like, you had extra gloves this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Rockies. And then he's strangling him, and he's like, Harry, your hands are freezing. Like, you can't understand why his hands are cold. And it's so goddamn funny.
Yep.
So shout out to
I
Dumb
like
and Dumber.
that when they're wearing the Conan the Barbarian boots. Or
Oh,
Jim
my
Carrey.
God.
And he's like,
There you go.
"There you go."
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. See that one? That's a sports car. Might want to hold on
Yeah.
to that. Those IRUs just as good as cash. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters. So funny. And it was like the first time the South Park guys were really allowed to like
Yep.
let loose. Like they had Cannibal the Musical, but that was way before South Park came out, and even that was like kind of tame by South Park standards. But this was the first time they were like had a large format, like rated R. Just fucking go for it. You know, it's just like, where is your pussy god now? Like the mole is so good. Like the whole, like everything, like it's just so well orchestrated as a comedy. And like, I think the logical step from the small screen to the big screen for South Park and Trey Parker and Matt Stone as writers. Because then you had Basketball that came after that, which was also hysterical. Orgasmo. You know, so they were like kind of like cutting their teeth and developing their chops. And I think like South Park, like that first movie was just them just like, yo, what's up?
No.
And it was so goddamn good. Battle for Algiers, which I was, talking to you about earlier.
Yes.
Like a 1940s, like it's about the French occupation of Morocco. and like just like police brutality, and like holds up through generations because you see the same thing happening over and over and over again with like this like overly police state, like a closely watched public, you know, like people getting like profiled and shit like that, and then eventually it comes to a boiling point where they just like, fuck it, we're gonna do some hood shit. And so like you have like all the, like it's just like it's such a sick movie. It's like old, but don't be turned off because it's black and white. Like watch it, there's a message there. It's like watching a Rage Against the Machine video for 2 hours. It's so sick.
I'm on that, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch
solid
it.
movie. 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a big Kubrick fan, and 2001 with like this rotating space station and like just like
It's
the
one of the
classical
best
music.
looking movies I've ever seen
It's
in my
just
life.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I said, it's like a piece
Watch
of
the
modern
Blu-ray
art.
too. It's beautiful.
And just like the whole concept. I mean, you see that movie was made like what 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
and like right now we're dealing with like contemplating morality of AI. And this movie talked about it that long ago. It's like William Gibson books. If you ever read any of his stuff, he was like the guy that coined the phrase.
Sam, you
the
ever read
internet.
any of those?
But just like that glimpse into the future that like kind of like maybe sparked, you know, like the ideas of like a Ray Kurzweil, you know, like a guy who's like a futurist who's like, you know, like on the forefront of cutting edge technology with like nano machines and AI and shit like that.
Did you like Ex Machina?
I didn't see it, but yeah. I have a Fire Stick, so I could just like watch it this weekend or some shit. But
Oh,
like,
yo, definitely.
That's how you pronounce that shit? I
Ex
thought it was
Machina.
Ex
Yeah.
Machina.
Well,
no, like the
maybe you're
police
white,
record.
I guess.
I didn't see that one yet,
Ex
but I heard it's
Machina.
good though.
But
McKine.
yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it for my honorable mentions. But I mean, I could go on
Nice.
all day talking
Nah,
about
that-
chill
Yeah.
movies.
Wow.
Man, that's you.
That's a good list, dude.
you were
And
thorough,
You
you
sold it too.
Yeah.
You were.
Sometimes you ask people to come in here and give you a list. You know, they
Number 1, Bull Durham.
That's my no. Wait, that's
My
number
favorite-
one
my-
Long Island hardcore.
My favorite
release.
Yeah,
sports
Bull
movie,
Durham.
toss up between Slapshot and Any Given Sunday.
There you go.
Like if you can't get down with Slapshot, the movie's so fucking
Yeah.
good. And Any Given Sunday, that was a Scorsese movie,
Yep.
right? Yeah. No.
The Oliver Stone.
That was
Oliver
Oliver
Stone.
Stone.
That's
Oliver
right. That's
Stone,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Wrong, enigmatic director. But Any Given Sunday, I think, is one of the best sports movies.
Yeah.
Because it seems real, but it's
Yeah.
still got that Oliver Stone-ish feel, like a Natural Born Killers type
Yep.
of feel.
Right.
love that one.
Mad tight. Oh, Natural Born Killers, sick
So
movie.
good.
Talk about like this is another thing
It
too.
doesn't hold up, I think, well.
It's dated, but it's still
It looks
sick.
like
I love
such
it.
a
Still sick.
90s music
It's like The
video
Crow.
to
You know,
me
like
now.
The
I love
Crow
it.
is
The
dated,
Crow I
but it's
watched
still
again
sick.
recently. That still
Love
holds
it.
up
And
for
that
sure.
and that's like coming from the era of movies with soundtracks, which doesn't happen
No.
anymore.
Baby
You know?
Driver.
Yo, shout out to Columbia House for trying to extort me out of mad money when I was a minor signing into a contract with they asked like 12 CDs for a penny. Come on, I'm 16 years old. I don't got a credit card. You trying to fuck with me?
You know what's funny?
Still after you?
No. We canceled that
On the
mad
run,
long
eating.
ago.
Yeah,
But yo, shout out Columbia House.
I would actually pay because you would pay for the one CD,
And then
after
they
you-
send you shit automatically and send you an invoice. Like they crooks, man. For
Yeah.
real.
I mean, I would just pay, and if I didn't like the CD, I would just send it back. Yeah,
Yeah, but then they got you for life.
yeah. Well, that's I have like boxes of CDs. You know. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is, as usual, our top 5. And today, as per our guest, we're going to talk about our top 5 Long Island hardcore full lengths of all time. So Joe Ciotto is in the back over there somewhere sitting. So I'm going to switch places with him because this guy has lived and breathed Long Island hardcore, and I figure why not? His list is probably way more detailed and better than mine. So I want to switch spots with him, and I'm just going to listen, and you guys could talk.
So, I mean, probably what we all have on it. And again, this isn't in any particular order. It's just, you know, my 5 favorite Long Island records. VOD Green album. I mean, is that pretty much across the board or not really?
No, it's not. I used that for, I think, debut full lengths. I think 2
okay.
episodes ago. Or no, maybe last episode with Mark. I think I used that for.
I just feel if like
Yeah.
you were into the scene in
Yeah.
the 90s and
I love it, but I feel like I used it already, so I have to.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
It came in the mail with free samples of Tide. Like everyone
That's
had
awesome.
this. It was just like one of those, and like I said earlier, with like my first hardcore show experience, like it was just like a pivotal record for me in my like musical development years. So like that, and then from there I discovered the rest of their discography. I mean, I even love Bliss of Devastation. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I know a lot of people, you know, give that record shit. I think it's great. I just think if it was released under a different band name, it would have been received differently. But because VOD put it out and people weren't ready for them to change, a lot of people hate on it. But I think sonically it's like a wall sound, like Cave in Jupiter, and people
Great album.
and people hated Cave in Jupiter, you know, because they went from Until Your Heart Stops to that. So it was the same fucking boat as that record. People giving it unjust hate.
Yep. Is that so? That's your 5.
Yeah, we usually
go
around.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was about
Mark
to
will
do
do
the
his
George.
5.
Yeah, I was got to do them to stop. You know.
Give me the lemur.
That's
We got
it.
rules.
Number 5, I did Sons of Abraham, Termites, and Its Smile.
Woo!
Shout out to Neil.
I think my entire top 5 revolves around drumming. What a surprise! And this kid had feet for days.
Hell
you
yeah,
know,
man.
rest in peace, Stefan. That was fucking horrible when that happened. I remember I bought this when Glassjaw played. They played Hofstra, and you know, Justin Beck sold it to me, and he was just like, "Oh, you know this band?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I fucking love Sons of Abraham." I think they had played like 8 shows at that point, like nothing. And I remember I heard it originally through a friend who went to college with Todd Weinstock. Went to college at, I think, Stony Brook, actually. And I don't know if they dormed there together or what, but he had a bootleg before it was out. And I fucking remember hearing that bootleg, and I'm like, this is the fucking greatest shit I have ever fucking heard.
Absolutely.
So I loved it from day one. So.
Band rips.
Yeah, that's my number 5. Make sure you're speaking to the.
All right, I'm going
yeah.
to speak into the microphone. Hey, is this thing on?
Yes.
Hey. I went with Movie Life. It's go time. I was at their second show when I first started going to shows back then, and it was just different, you know? Like, I was so inspired by, like, that raw, aggressive energy of all, like, the more, like, tough guy bands, like Tension, Everybody Gets Hurt, and all that Dr. Shea style stuff that I was, like, brought into. And then it was like, wait, things can get a little bit more melodic, a little bit more musical, yet still have that same message. And it was just, like, cool. Like, if I wanted to start a band, I think I wanted to sound like that or something similar to that. And it was just, like, you know, a lot of people go back and forth. I mean, me and Dan are over here, part of a drum forum with like a whole bunch of people that chat, and they, you know, I think the running thing today was, you know, is this band considered hardcore? Is this hardcore? And you know, I don't really chat much in the group, but when I do, it's meaningful. And I'm like, what did you guys all drink the punch? Like, it's all aggressive music. It all comes from this, which came from that, which came from that. Like, and that's just the way I saw it. You know, whether it's just, you know, you consider it lighter or heavier, it doesn't fucking matter. You know. So that's why I went with that.
Nice.
Excellent. My number 5 is the VOD self-titled
Green.
as well. You said it all on that one. I remember having the demo, but when that album came out, I was way into it. It sounded phenomenal. It's a great album. You said it all with that. So
Yeah, I mean, that was like around the time where like a local show would draw like 500 kids.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so that like, you know, that was like some real shit. You
no
know?
doubt. And your number 4?
My number 4. Okay, so my number 4 is Glassjaw, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Silence.
Great record.
That was like on constant rotation when I worked at Hot Topic from 99 to 2001. I just remember like hearing it and being like, wow, this is like an exposed nerve. Like there's some real shit going on here. And like I said, that was like one of the first hardcore shows that I went to was them playing. And it was like, they were just so different than anything else I had ever heard. And I feel like they always have, but they still have like really heavy parts and just like this like crazy eclectic guitar style that like Beck just brings. It's just like insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I saw the 10-year anniversary of Worship and Tribute at Irving Plaza and was just blown away, you know, by the musicianship. But like this was the one that was kind of like, there's like heavy music, but there's different ways to do it.
They were
And-
extremely talented.
Right,
Yeah.
and this is a different
they
way
put
to,
on a
and
hell
like
of a show.
vocally so different than everything else that was out there heavy because he was just like a beast, you know, and it's just like, it was just like so different but so heavy at the same time. It was just like, there isn't one way to do something the right way. Yeah.
Number 4, it's an ex-guest band, our buddy George, Mind Over Matter, Order Manipulation. I don't know. I think I pretty much said everything about this last time. Great drumming. I love the recording. It definitely kind of took the Long Island scene in a different direction. I don't know. I pretty much said everything last episode, but it's still one of my favorites. I think it still holds up tremendously. Everything from the recording to the
For sure.
vocals to the drumming. So
Yeah. 4, I went with Kill Your Idols. No gimmicks needed. A lot of people, especially on the Facebook posts, were going with This Is Just the Beginning, which is great and all. But for me, when it comes to certain records, it's all about time and place. And it's just, I mean, you know, you can't say enough about Kill Your Idols. It's just, it's fast, it's fun, it's in your face, and it's just makes you feel good. And that's what it's all about, you know. And I'm always going to think of them and hold them in such a high regard. Everything from the way their last show went down, their reunions, you know, bloody noses, great times, and what more can you ask for, man? Like I said, it's all about time and place, fast and feel good.
Yep.
Straight up.
I bow before your guys' knowledge of hardcore too, by the way, because I was such a metalhead growing up. But these are my crossover ones that got my feet wet into it. But number 4, the Gorilla Biscuits self-titled record. My friend Scott got me into them. They were one of my. I played it top to bottom. Love that band. Still love that band. Album holds up.
technically, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I can't listen. I'm doing my best here.
yeah,
Give the guy a fucking break.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Cut the guy some slack.
you showed up. I mean,
Yeah.
Come on.
I knew better.
A couple of those guys are from Long Island.
yeah.
All right. My third, Silent Majority, Life as a Spectator. Silent Majority was a band that I got into after the fact. I didn't really catch them when they were like actively around. I found out about them afterwards. I was kind of like a little late to the party for a lot of Long Island hardcore stuff. But this was like a record that I heard and I was immediately turned on to the band. Just like from every aspect, from songwriting to drumming to just like overall feel. It's just like, you know, like this is what's up. And then like becoming friends with Tommy afterwards and just like seeing the whole like Lindenhurst crew, like the way that's like a family, you know, like it's like
Straight up.
you see where it comes from and you see like it's just like this insular community where everyone is just with everyone, you know, and everyone's there for each other. And it's like at that point it took on a second life for me once I became more acquainted with everyone. And then I think it was like 2 years ago now playing with them last year playing with them at Revolution.
Yeah, that
for
was
the,
great.
for the
That was a
reunion.
great
That was
show.
like that place was packed out for a band that hadn't played in 10 years.
And that's probably the best that I ever heard them sound too.
It was
fucking unreal.
It was like one of those like really special
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
you know. And it was like I said, it was just really something else. And like that was like when I heard that the first time I heard that, I was just like, oh shit, now I know.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Number 3, I did Motive, Doctrine of Scripted Torture. This is funny because, like I said, most of them are about drumming. This is actually great drumming, but the fucking drums sound like shit on this recording, unfortunately. And I always loved Pete's style, but I guess they were captured as well as they could have been on this recording. They probably could have been so much better, but I love the songs on this. You know, they got a lot of bad, you know, press on this album because, you know, this is when they broke edge and became a metal band and blah, blah, blah. But they were playing all these songs, you know, when they were vegan straight edge, but just all of a sudden everybody fucking cared, you know, when they started drinking and everything. But I think I probably played with Motive, I think probably the most out of any Long Island band, which I loved because I actually did a weekend with them too, and that was a blast. But yeah, love that album. Still think that it holds up.
Hell yeah.
Good shit. I went with Obscenity in the Milk by Millhouse. I mean, you want to talk about in your face. I mean, everything from all the obscure, creepy samples that, you know.
Pretty
really
much wrote the
crazy
book
music.
on samples.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it in a couple of bands
Yep.
simply from enjoying that. Or I mean,
Take notes.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're screaming their balls off, songs about Satan, really just creepy, weird, like, you know, odd tunings, ridiculous drumming. I mean, Greg
I was hit by a
Collins-
Millhouse truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
You got Greg Collins doing crazy drumming, and then later on playing dance disco and Radio
Yep.
4. It's like,
Yep.
you know, it just goes to show you how wide the spectrum can be. But that, for me,
Absolutely.
was just like such a, you know, that record makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is really, really cool.
One of the best frontmen in the game, you know.
Nice.
Shout out to Artie Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. I hope they're from Long Island.
All right, Sam, can you
Sam, I'm sure I'm gonna get
the horn ready just in case.
Ludachrist. Immaculate Deception.
That's Long
Do
Island.
I qualify?
We'll give it to him.
All right,
We'll give it to
all right.
him.
Thank you,
Yeah.
fellas. But I'm obviously I like a lot of that crossover sound, and I just thought they were supremely talented. Shout out to Todd. Boom! Shout out to
nice.
Todd Reynolds, big Ludacris
There you
fan.
go.
I should have got his list today, but always one of my favorites growing up. One of the best names for a band.
They actually
ever.
opened at that Life of Agony VOD show that I
Were
went
they
to.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Todd was going to go to that,
Yeah.
but yeah, it didn't make it because we don't make it out of our houses.
That's
that
it, man.
often
I hear
for
ya.
old men. But
That's
that's
it.
my number 3, Ludacris.
Nice. Okay, so my number 2, again, this is a shout out to Selden. Known these guys for a while. Straight from the Path Villains, which was their first major like breakthrough record on Sumerian. I remember them writing it and like demoing out the first 3 songs and just being like, holy shit. And I listened to that record today, and it is just like a lesson in brutality. It is so heavy on so many levels. And it stands up to even today. It's just so well done. Just like aggressive on every front, and just I just remember like them during that era because that's when Alfie was touring with them, so I got to see them play a lot off that record. It was just like, holy shit, and then like you see them from there to where they are today, playing these like enormous tours and festivals and stuff like that. So it's just like it's really good to see like guys from your hometown.
Oh, yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
get through like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
man. Mr. Parker.
I have a double for Dan over here, but I also did Silent Majority. I don't know. This is probably my all-time quintessential. I call it my summer album. It's like as soon as soon as the weather gets nice, the windows goes down, and this fucking thing plays from beginning to end. I think I was at the. I definitely was at the record release when they had the release for this at the Common Ground, which was the second PWAC, and that was a fucking great show. Sons of Abraham was on that as well. And jumping back to the drumming, I mean, Ben was and is still a monster. For using a small little 4-piece kit, single bass pedal, and the fucking guy wails.
So what you do with
Out
it.
of control.
Yeah, guy wails. So Silent Majority.
Cool.
Well, my last 2 are going to be as obvious as possible, but I too am going to go with Silent Majority's Life of a Spectator.
Yep.
I mean, once again, time and place. It's just when you're first getting into you're being shown this different lifestyle with all these people, and it could be very overwhelming. And you're hearing this music, and it's not just like you're listening to the songs. You're actually reading the lyrics, going into the CD booklets, and they're talking about the same type of shit that I'm going through in life, and my family problems, and my this, and it's just like, they're regular guys. People hold them in the highest regard, and we're all lucky enough to be friends with them and hang out with them, and it's just, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to make it, and that's totally what that record does, and it's so fucking seminal to Long Island. It's like,
Yep.
something to be proud of, totally.
Excellent. All right, my number 2, Trip Face, Some Part Sorrow.
There you go.
I'd be remiss if I didn't
Nice.
mention
Yep.
Trip Face. Obviously, good friends of mine. Obviously, I was in that band for a minute in the beginning, and one of my songs is on it, so I got to put it on there.
What's up, man?
There you go, a little shameless self-promotion.
Damn.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Now, do you want to do lists before? Because you have your number ones
I
list.
have my number
Oh,
one,
yes.
You
We
wanna do
normally
lists?
do the list. How many, Sam, do you have like 8 billion?
I have a couple. I mean, it's all
Okay.
right. Start with our buddy Brian Marr. All right. So, Life of a Spectator was
Surprise,
but-
surprise.
number 5. He did Inside, 7 Inches to a Drug Wall. If Silent Majority can be on a hardcore list, then so can Inside. Number 4, VOD Imprint.
Nice.
Number 3, Still Suit at the Speed of Light. I technically think they were from the city, but we'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Number 2, 516 Comp. Number
Solid.
1, Glass Straw. Everything you wanted to know about the Silence.
Yep.
Okay, so then we have.
You got one?
I have Rob Link, number 5. This Is Hell, Sundowning. Number 4, Trip Face, Some Part Sorrow. Number 3, Inside My Funeral. Number 2, Silent Majority, Life of a Spectator. Number 1, Motive, I versus the Beckoning of Darkness.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Okay, I got a top 5 here. He didn't put it in particular order, but I'll read it in the order he gave me. From Scotty Jazambek of
We're not
Trip.
judging.
Oh, shout out Scott.
Yes.
Hook us up. He booked us a lot in the Albany area.
He's my man now.
Yeah,
he,
solid dude.
I used to work with him at the Wall. That's how we
Sick.
started putting Trip Face together.
And I was like
actually.
the head librarian up there, right? Or
Yeah,
some shit?
he's big wig. Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna get him on this show. He's actually
yeah.
in Riverhead for the weekend visiting family, so we're trying to hook up. We've reconnected through Facebook, and it's
Nice.
been really nice because
Yeah,
Scott's a top-notch guy.
He is a fucking gem.
He's
Yep.
the best. But he was quick to mention that he's giving all 7 inches because back then no one had an album. I'm specifically mentioning that. Scott's a stickler to
Facts.
the rules. He is the head librarian of Albany.
That's
You
it.
can't fuck with that.
Facts is
Okay,
facts.
so number 5 we have Scrape Grace, the Plead Out EP. He also-
Scapegrace. Scapegrace. Okay.
Scapegrace,
Yeah.
yes.
He was
And
close.
Yeah.
he listed. He even gave me YouTube links to all
Sweet.
this shit. Like maybe I'll post it on our Facebook page. Disciplinary Action
DA baby.
Okay.
was his number 4. Neglect Pull the Plug EP.
There you go.
Number 3.
All right.
Motive Thickness of Glass. Number 2,
Song,
did I get
but
that right?
yes, that's
Well,
a song.
the 7-inch.
Also
I
seven.
told you his rules.
Oh, I actually just realized that I
don't
fucked
give
up.
a fuck about the rules.
I said the 7-inch, but I said Doctrine, but that's the 7-inch. But
Well,
it's
I'm
supposed
glad
to
I
be
could
Ivory.
correct you.
Thanks, pal.
All right.
Sam's in the back. Hurry the fuck up.
And number 1 for Scott was Mind Over Matter, Heretic Thinking.
There you go.
Wow.
So thank you, Scotty. Hopefully we get you on here soon.
I'm
What
going
else
to
we
do
got?
Hopefully.
our buddy Mike Tambo, number 5. Sons
Tambo.
of,
Shout out Tambo.
Yeah, Sons of Abraham, number 5. Number 4, Incendiary Cost of Living.
What's up?
3, Capital Homefront. 2, Kill Your Idols. This is just the beginning. Number 1, Life of a Spectator. Where are we here? Vito just put Overthrow React times 5. Love Vito.
would.
Love Overthrow.
Yeah, shout out Vito.
Yeah. My buddy Mike Masilli, number 5. Indecision.
Mike Silly. Shout out. Mike.
Indecision, Unorthodox. They are our LAHC band. Number 4, Iron Sheik. Not like this. Number 3, Mind Over Matter Security. Number 2, Kill Your Idols. This is just the beginning. Number 1, Silent Majority. Oh, I was skipping. All right, if you want to go in order. All right. Greg, 5, Sons of Abraham. 4, Millhouse. 3, Trip Face. 2, Inside. 1, Silent Majority. We got our buddy Matt Veal, Celebrity Murders. Time to Kill Space. That's a great album. Kill Your Idols. Iron Sheik. Silent Majority. Blood Red Hostage.
Noticing a pattern here.
Very nice.
Yeah, a lot of the same.
My
It's
buddy
like there's
Race.
Yo, shout out Race.
Yeah. Millhouse. Kill Your Idols. Tension.
There you go.
There it is. Silent Majority, Mind Over Matter. My buddy Joe Red Citron, number 5, Neglect. Number 4, Sky Came Falling. I don't remember the name of their album. That's good enough. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks
Number
for playing.
Shots fired.
Number 3, Glassjaw, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, in parentheses, or was that just a demo, question mark. Number 2, Tension. Number 1, Overthrow React. There you go. I'm seeing a lot of Silent Majority, a lot of Neglect.
Surprise.
Right.
Tommy Trash Bags, Glassjaw. Yeah, Glassjaw, Kill Your Idols. Ooh, the backup plan. That's okay. That's good. Mind
Shout
Over
out
Matter.
Backup
Silent Majority. Matt Tetrone. This is a nice one.
All right.
Number 5, Irony, which I love. Number 4, Movie Life. Number 3, On the Might of Princes. Fucking Chris Enriquez. God
Yo,
forbid if
shout
we
out
go one
Enriquez.
fucking episode with not mentioning him.
Yeah, man.
You know, number 2, Inside. Number 1, Silent Majority. Christopher, Don't Call Me Greek Tampanakis. Number 5, Dearly Departed, Believing in Ghosts. Number 4, On the Might. Number 3, Silent Majority. Number 2, Inside. Number 1, Mind Over Matter. Smalley. Number 5, On the Might of Princes. Number 4, Overthrow. Number 3, VOD.
Wow,
Number 2, Movie Life. Number fucking Silent Majority. I don't even have to say everybody's fucking, number 1. Hugo, of course, he puts, forklift driver.
Tools used for fighting.
Yeah. So, who else? We have Malamo is on here. Oh, you made Malamo's number 5. That's good. Incendiary, he's got number 5.
Sick.
Number 4, Half Man,
Nice.
which was after Scapegrace. Number 3, VOD. Number 2, Mind Over Matter. Number 1, Silent Majority.
Yo, shout out Domain.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out Domain. Shout out Jeff. Shout out Greg.
Ah.
Shout out Rob. Shout out all those dudes. Domain's fucking sick.
John Berg, I like this. Number
John
5, Closure. Great band from Long Island. 4, Half Man. Number 3, On the Minor Princes. Number 2, Kill Your Idols. Number 1, Millhouse. All right, Mac Randy, who is one of the Grande boys. On the Minor Princess, Millhouse, Last Crime. States Secedes,
Hell yeah.
very nice. I like that. And Half Men. Let's see if there's anybody, and that's pretty much it's everybody. You know. Oh, Bob Farley. He wrote in. He did Movie Life number 5, 4 VOD, 3 Silent Majority, 2 Mind of a Matter, 1 On the Minor Princess, but regarding IEP also as a honorable mention.
Solid.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
All right.
So you're number one
now
now.
the
Number one, yes,
Okay.
please.
No
So
pressure.
my number one is an objective number one, so you have to understand that. Even though this is a band that I occasionally play in, it's a band that I've been a fan of
I
since
know where
day
this is
one.
going.
It's a band that I love seeing, and it's one of the only times I was able to mosh to the band that I was playing in while playing in the band.
And they have those crazy Bugs Bunny old school T-shirts.
Yes, they do.
Right?
This band is called Soldiers, and the record is End of Days. I don't think I enjoy a single heavy record as much as I enjoy End of Days from start to finish. There's not a bad song on there. And like I said, because I do, like I did play in Soldiers for a while, and totally objective. Even if I didn't play in this band, I would still love this band.
Mm-hmm.
If Audley and Bobcat didn't play in this band with me, I would still love this band. If I, if I had no musical ability whatsoever, I would still love this band. If I was blind and deaf and didn't have any arms or legs, I would still love this band. Soldiers is just so goddamn good. And End of Days was like the best of the Tombstone EP plus a bunch of new shit, and it's like talk about fun songs to play.
Oh yeah,
Talk about fun songs to mosh to. Talk about fun songs to listen to. This album is just great, stem to stern, and hopefully we get to do it again one day.
Yeah,
but
I would love to see that.
I would love to play Soldier songs again.
Yeah.
We actually covered a VOD song, the last.
Oh
last
that's
couple
right.
of
That's
shows that we
right.
played.
Yep.
Yeah. So
When was the last time you did play with them? How long has it been
like
now?
2010, 2011.
It's
It's
been
been
that
a very long time.
Uh,
But Soldiers End of Days, unreal record.
yeah.
I love it,
Yeah.
and I suggest everyone go listen to it.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's in my car presently.
Hell yeah.
Because fuck Spotify, right? Like lasagna.
My answer.
Sleeping.
My answer.
You need to
would
get
be
woke,
is-
son.
That's it. Well, my number one, I'm actually sitting across from one of the original songwriters of this band, and that is Tripface. Some Part Sorrow. Man, I can't say enough good fucking things about Tripface. They were one of my. I definitely went through like an Exit Records phase, which that's all that I really cared about for Long Island. Everybody from them to Silent Majority, all the other bands we named, Sons of Abraham, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I remember I was at their record release, and it was Tripface, Indecision, and Millhouse at the Huntington VFW.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was fucking insane. I remember Murdoch played that. Who the hell else played that? Maybe Devola played that? I don't even remember. CR played it, too.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yo, dude from CR plays in Budo's band.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bass player. Yeah.
So I remember being at that show, and that's one show that was probably fucking, I don't know, it seemed like at least 600 people there.
For an all local show.
Yeah. And it was a triple record release, which was awesome.
So sick.
But I think every time Tripface played, if I wasn't there, I tried to be there, and I thought that they were always great live. Drumming, Pete's drumming. I mean, the guy that was playing drums in the band when I saw them was this guy Pete, and I think
Rowland.
he
went on to Glassjaw, I think, for a minute, didn't he?
I don't know if he played in Glassjaw.
Somebody left
Yeah.
there, and this is after my day there, obviously, but somebody went on to play
I
for
don't
them for
know.
a quick minute.
But
But
this was-
Pete's a great guy.
Yeah, this was one of the first local guys that I saw actually use like a drum rack.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy's got like fucking 3 rack time. I'm like, this fucking guy's got to set it up by himself. Fuck this shit,
Yeah.
Is that Neil Peart?
Yeah, But I always loved that. And then the fact that, when Sky Game Falling did the demo, the fact that we recorded with the fucking guitar player, Jay May.
Jay May, yeah.
I mean, that fucking blew my mind. I was like, yeah, I want to fucking record with the guy from fucking Tripface.
Goddamn right.
And then the fucking icing on the cake was the fact that he let me use fucking Pete's snare drum on the Sky Came Falling demo. I was just like,
Jay had a
sign
lot
me
of
up,
good
man.
gear.
And
Yep.
you got cake too.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, Trip Face, love
Yeah.
it.
Well, like I said, it's obvious and it's been said, but fucking mind over matter.
Yep.
Auto manipulation.
Yep.
What is there to say that has not already been said about one of the greatest bands to ever come out of Long Island? I mean, it goes beyond time and place and the feeling. I mean, you know, that record is just so fucking raw and so dark, but it does something to you.
Yeah.
You know? It really, really does something to you. I mean, shameless self-promotion, but I was very fortunate enough to be in a band with George Reynolds, and, you know, guy still blows my fucking
Yep.
mind. And now I play in a new band where I sing and play drums, and I was, once again, fortunate enough to have him come in and sing and, you know, lend the voice that's inspired me for over 20-something fucking years. But, you know, you think Long Island, it's impossible to not think Silent Majority, Mind Over Matter. It's just, you know.
I always said that if Vinny Stigma was like the godfather of NYHC, George Reynolds is, you know, the godfather of
For Long
LAHC.
Island.
You know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to throw Tommy and Rich into that mix.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
guys are like the three godfathers of
Yep.
it all, you know?
Definite
So, like
legends.
I said, we're pretty fucking fortunate to live on this island.
Yeah.
With such amazing music and this community. And Tommy said it best at a show, like, you know, this is like a mafia. You know, the only way in is to die.
Yeah.
You know, once,
Yeah.
once you're in, you're in.
All right, I guess I'm last here. My number one, being the resident old dude here, Crumb Suckers, Life of Dreams. When they were coming up, obviously a long time ago, you know, all the heavy hitters of New York hardcore, these guys coming out of Long Island, I think were as good as musicians at the time in that scene. They had the thrash element, crossover element, and everything, but they could play their asses off. They were a notch above, and that album still holds up for me. I listen to it religiously still. And Crumb Suckers, Life of Dreams, that's mine.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right,
So that's our top fives.
yeah.
And Mr. Sam jumping over here. You got any other
Yo,
added?
on the transition, I'm just gonna give a shout out, honorable mention to "I Am the Avalanche" self-titled.
There you go.
I think that record is phenomenal, top to bottom. And me personally, it's like a life moment defining record. And it's just excellent. It's just really, really fucking good.
So okay, yeah, there you go. There you have it, the top five. I'm just gonna give mine real quick because who gives a shit, right? So mine would be VOD for the Bleeders,
Nice.
Silent Majority, obviously, Life of a Spectator, Glassjaw, Silence record is. When I first heard that, I was just pretty blown away. The guitars, just the vocals. Later on, I kind of like grew out of the vocals, but like when I first heard it, I've never heard anyone sing and scream like that.
Exactly. The first time I heard a hard C in a record too. That was
Yeah, it was.
pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, and the hooks were gigantic, gigantic. Number two, I have Mind Over Matter, Security, because I like that record better. I always have. I don't know why. And number one, probably not a hardcore band, but it's my favorite record out of Long Island. From the people I know, Small Arms Dealer, Patron Saint of Disappointment. So
All right.
I think that shit is banging. Makes me want to write songs when I hear that record. So
Nice.
all right. So I guess we talked enough, and thanks to Dan from Incendiary
Yeah, absolutely.
problem.
man.
and Carcosa.
Had a great time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
this
wish
is
you continued success too, man. With
Oh,
the
thank
record,
you.
dude.
Thank you very
well,
much.
it's not success; it's luck.
Yeah.
Oh, luck. Wish
Yeah.
you continued luck.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
you move up the Heat Seekers Billboard charts.
You know.
Keep the train moving.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
pretty
about
much.
us little guys.
Soon you're going to be on that Carson Daly show, TRL Live.
Nice.
Oh
Yes.
God, if only.
You know?
That'd be so sick.
You guys will be going out on tour for 3-day weekend.
Oh
Saturday,
wow. Oh God.
Sunday.
If,
You know? You'll be working 4 days at the regular job.
asking
and
my
then-
lucky
Yeah.
stars to do that.
So,
Yeah. Can I get Fridays off?
so our next show, we're going to have Tom Flynn. I forget his credits exactly, but I know that he just directed the new Body Count video,
Sick.
and it's fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Because that record,
That record is
How the fuck did that
shockingly.
shocking.
Okay.
Shockingly good.
Yeah.
How?
The first record was a gimmick. It was okay.
It was okay.
It holds up horribly. It's ridiculous how corny it is. But it was cool for the moment. Here's Ice-T doing a heavy
KKK
rap.
bitch, really?
But so much
Evil
Evil D
Dick.
is the dumbest fucking song. But this one is a legit, really good fucking metal record. I mean, it thrashes.
I was
It's
watching
got
like
great
live
guests.
footage from like Australia and shit. Like they fucking go crazy, man.
Hell yeah.
No,
What-
it's a great
Yo,
record.
shout out Joe Sincata, does sound guy over at Full Force.
Yeah.
Does sound for Body Count. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
oh,
think he
you-
does Obituary too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to high school with him.
It's awesome.
So he one day my band was playing O'Brien's
Ha.
and yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah. We were playing O'Brien's, and I guess before I started a song, or maybe we were like tuning or setting up, and I started playing There Goes the Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And before we played our first song, I was like, yeah, we're Body Count. So we started playing, we played a set, and after the set was done, this kid comes up to me, because on occasion people like our band. It's funny.
Nice.
So he's like, hey, man, he's like, never heard of you guys before, man. He's like, it's like, I really love the set. He's like, I went online to look for your music, and all I see is this band with the guy Ice-T in it. I was like, oh, no. I was like, I was just kidding, man. I was like, we're not Body Count.
That's not really the name of the band.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And he's like, oh, shit, really? So I gave him the name of the real band. Haven't seen him since, so that's how much he liked us. New record's out, man. Download that shit.
Hey, turned him out to the Body Count.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
my name is Ice-T. I look really different in pictures.
I got to see them live on that Lollapalooza
Yeah.
that
Sick.
1 year. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Went over really well, though, you know?
I listened to the Henry Rollins' podcast called Henry and Heidi,
Right.
and he talks about that Lollapalooza and
Yeah.
how it all started,
Yeah.
how he did the Rollins band did some shows with Jane's Addiction,
Right.
and how basically the inception of it,
Right.
and that first tour, and how he didn't talk to anyone on the tour. He liked everyone, but
Yeah.
the Ice-T was his boy, and they hung out every night.
Yes.
And basically, it's an hour long on just Lollapalooza 1.
There's an
Wow.
old spoken word CD. I don't know if it's on the Box Life, which is one of my favorite spoken words by him, but he tells a brief story about Lollapalooza and stuff, and he refers to, like, it sounded like Ice-T was the guy he got along with
Yeah.
most, because he's like, I go back there where Ministry was living. Like in this voice, like they were just
Yeah.
Al was doing whatever Al does in the trailer and shit like that. and
Anybody
stuff,
see
but-
my spoon? Allegedly. All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
can't
Thank
wait
you
to,
again, though. Really
No
appreciate
problem,
you
no
coming
problem.
in.
Can't
Thanks
wait
for
to
having me,
edit
guys.
this opus. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. Bye.
Later.